coming afterward. So what we will do is we have done 2 aspects of our program already, which is the breakfast and also a guided tour of the facility. So the next thing that we are going to be having is we have a couple of innovators out there because they have taken time to develop some of their applications. A number of them actually took part in a hackathon that we held. What we are going to do is have them speak to us, each for about 3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes. So in case you stop me and they're interesting, please note they will be outside in a tent. Don't hate on me, I'm responsible for time. The next thing I would also say is, after they are done, we shall officially move with our program, and this is how it will move. We shall have welcome remarks by a representative of ABQ Cloud, then Rock Cloud, Raxio, and STI, and right after which we shall wind into a panel discussion that we'll be having. Right after that panel, we should be having some awards that we will be giving out. Like I mentioned earlier, there was a hackathon that took place, and there was a tour done by STI, EDIC, as well as ABQ, and they went across the country to different institutions, universities, simply telling them about this platform, and so a number of them participated in this hackathon, and so we would like to recognize and reward them. Then once that is done, we should be able to have our STI representative invite our guest of honor. Our guest of honor is one of the honorable ministers. I will not mention until they come because I do not want to set expectations very high. And then when the person comes late, I become the sacrifice here. So that's the other thing. And then once all of that is done, we shall officially launch ABQ Cloud. We shall have a bit of more information about the cloud platform, how you can be able to utilize it. Some of these things you might already know. Some of these things you might not know. Okay? So right now I'm just going to invite the innovators. I hope they are ready because I am going to be calling them up very quickly. So the innovators who I am going to be calling up, I'm just going to rush through their names. So Afrey Milk Check, I hope you're here. Agrich Innovation. Unfortunately, in case you want to project slides, we may not have the opportunity to project slides. You will just come and speak through your innovation. So Afrey Milk Check, Agrich Innovation, Easy Home, TriPlugs, Capital Ventures, Educrades, 256 Mining Team, Your Farmer, Seal Home, and Santech. Okay? I believe most of them are in the room, so I'm going to start with Afrey Milk Check. Afrey Milk Check, are you here? Are you ready? All right, if you can just come very quickly, 3 minutes. And once the 3 minutes are done, I will stand next to you and touch your shoulder. It's not like I'm encouraging you to go on, but I'll be encouraging you to stop speaking. A round of applause for Afrey Milk Check as they come. Their innovation tests the quality of milk using tech. So let's find out a little bit more. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Magezi Frank Rubanama. I was a co-founder of Afrey Milk Check. Afrey Milk Check is a smart, portable IoT testing device. It's not just a testing device, but it's a digital asset for managing data. Susan is a dairy farmer in Barra district. She owns over 8 cows in her farm. But one thing that has always confused her, whenever she milks her cows and tries to supply her milk to milk processors, her milk is always rejected. And she doesn't even know why. Well, she owns a lactometer, but a lactometer alone is not enough to verify milk quality. So she sells her milk to middleman, Simon. Simon wants to make profits. So most times Simon adulterates milk with either by adding in water or formalin so that he can kill microorganisms in the milk as he transports the milk from Barra to Kampala. Well, Simon knows milk processors will reject the milk. He sells it to local dairy shops. along the roadside. Janet is a university student who loves to take breakfast and buys milk affordably from such a shop. Whenever she buys that milk from shops, she complains of stomach issues and she doesn't know why. This is where Afrey Milk Check comes in. It's going to help Susan, a dairy farmer, to easily test for milk quality. She will be confident enough that her milk is to the quality before they can sell it to a milk processor. And it will help a local dairy shop to also test for milk quality before buying from a middleman confidently. So, how it works, we do have a web platform whereby a farmer can log into the web platform and easily check for different parameters in the web platform. So the web platform takes milk test records such as in different times, thereby reducing manual record keeping that is prone to getting lost. It also has an AI advisory milk system that keeps advising the farmer on how to keep maintaining good quality milk throughout. And with the milk processing company, they can log into the system and they can check which regions are performing well in terms of producing good quality milk. And with this, they can reduce downtime in production by knowing, let's go to Mbarara, collect the milk. Let's go to Ntungamo, collect the milk. So it reduces the downtime, and it also advises on the milk they have collected, which product is good, which product can it produce UHT milk, powder, or flavored. So our competitive analysis, ours is affordable, user-friendly, easy maintenance, and it has a remote database. Compared to a lactometer and Cryostar, which is used by milk processors, a Cryostar costs over 20 million Ugandan shillings, which a farmer obviously cannot afford. And the lactose can, most lactose cans are not owned by farmers, they are owned by cooperatives, which are also expensive. So, and who we serve? We serve dairy farmers, we serve cooperatives and milk collection centers. We also serve milk processors such as Fresh Dairy that we have been doing our interviews with and working with them. And our business model, we earn 400 from direct sales, device maintenance, and IoT platform premium services. From direct sales, by selling, we sell it at 450,000 Ugandan shillings. So in 7 months, we project to get over 60 million by selling 140 units. And from device maintenance, we earn 5% and 40% monthly subscription on IoT web platform services. And our impact, we hope to reduce milk rejection at collection centers, reduce production delays in milk processing factories, increase dairy farmers' income, build consumer trust. Our traction is that we purchased a 3D printer, so we are currently doing production. We have interviewed over 107 dairy farmers from Tungamo, Kiruhura, Arua, and we have over 87 interested farmers registered in our CRM. And we're also working with company registration is in the final stages with URSB, and ongoing partnerships with Dairy Development Authority. And we got some of the early user feedback we got. Okay, some of the early user feedback we got from Fresh Dairy is that they told us their testing takes over 1 hour per milk sample. But with our device, if we can give them a device that can test in less than 5 minutes, they will be willing to buy it. So we are currently working on the customization. And lastly, the next steps, we want to deploy an advanced AI chatbot to provide cow feed and farm management recommendation to farmers, obtain product certification with Dairy Development Authority, UNBS and NITA-U, incorporate remaining sensors, and finalize integration by integrating solar. And we want to reach over 200 dairy farmers in 8 months. So this is our team. I have him, she's there. We're a dedicated team and we are willing to push this to the market with your support. So thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, a big round of applause. Please note they will also be outside. They have a table there that you can be able to get more information on. All right, the next one is Agrich Innovation. Are you in the house and ready? If you could come up really quickly. Just for the interest of time, I will stand here. I will not move away. So that you don't negotiate time or you have someone behind to block me from stopping you from speaking. A big round of applause for Agrich Innovation. They work on smart irrigation. That's what I have at a very high level.
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. This is Agrich Innovation. We develop a system that automates irrigation system. In Uganda and the whole world, agriculture sector face over 70% challenge that is related to rain. Most farmers rely on rain-fed agriculture. Farmers also do irrigation on guest work. We develop a system that is called Agrotech. This system is based on sensor-based irrigation system that automate irrigation. This system is designed for small farmers, large-scale farmers, to help them in the agricultural department. How does this system help? This system helps in data-driven management, where the guest work is sorted up, where we use sensors. The sensors pick information from the soil. That are sensors that we develop, we deploy in the farms. And then it analyzes the soil condition, that is the soil moisture, the potassium in the soil. And then it makes decision based on that. The scientific side of our system is a drought operation system. And then we have water prediction, adoption, and then health moisture. This system, we develop it using Adreno Nano. We develop this smart irrigation system that we mount them together with the sensors. That is soil sensor. It is used for automating the valves. We also use this system for collecting decisions in the soils, and then it is analyzed for making the decision when we are doing the automation. This system, we develop it, we are currently at level 7, that is testing the prototype. So this prototype, we are testing it. We have deployed one in Arua, that is in a presentation farm, where we are testing how it is collecting data, and then and also automating the irrigation system. Our system, our targets are particularly the farmers, which collect this information. Can I just a moment? That's okay. So our system, when we look at the market opportunity, we look at the global opportunity, the middle income, and then the local, that is the Ugandan farmers. In this system, we have the revenue where we will sell the kits to generate income, and then we will also do installation and train farmers about how to use it, and then the agriculture, data-driven decision makings. And then we also do maintenance of these kits and support the farmers. Okay, thank you.
A big round of applause for them. Please note they're outside. If something that we're speaking about piques your interest, you can be able to get more information on them. So the next one is called Easy Home. Easy Home, are you ready? Okay, if you could come down very quickly. As Easy Home comes, just note that what they are working on or they have developed is a smart socket to manage your energy usage. All right, Easy Home. A round of applause for Easy Home as they come up.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be here and present to you guys our product. So my name is Hoff Myers. I am a Afrey electrical engineering student at Makerere University. And I want to give you guys a scenario. Majority of you here, I see, you're like breadwinners in the family. So you go home, you pay your Yaka bill, and then you go to work. Maybe you leave your brother, you leave your children at home. And then let's say you told them, don't leave this fridge on. Or maybe, let's say you said, don't put this thing on or anything. But children, they don't listen. So you go and then you come back in the evening hoping that, I haven't used so much power. But then at the end of the month, you find your electricity bill is too high. Then you ask yourself, where is this bill coming from? Why is it this high? Well, and you cannot really tell what was consuming your power. But with this device that we have created, you can solve that problem. This here is a smart socket. I don't know. This is a smart socket. Basically, what it does is you get this and plug it into your wall outlet, and then you plug whatever device you have onto this, and then you can be able to monitor that device. You can be able to control whether it is, you can see whether it is on or off, and then you can basically even monitor all the power, its power consumption from this device. So if you've left your house and then maybe you remember, oh, I forgot to turn off my fridge, and I'm very far, maybe I'm like 30 kilometers away, I'll be like, okay, there is no problem. I just pick out my phone, check if the device is on, and then turn it off. Or we plan to implement a system whereby it can even automatically detect if a device is on and it's consuming power, and it will notify you like, oh, this device is on and it is consuming power. Should we turn it off for you? If you say yes, then it does that for you. So we did some surveys involving this device, and we found out actually majority of the people they are irresponsible with power, and that's what led us to develop this device. Most people don't really care. Someone can leave, I bet some of you here, when you left home, you have a dedicated socket where you put your phone charger and you leave it there. As long as your phone is charged, you don't really care about that. But when your phone is not charged, that's when you can come and put it, but you never turn that off. But little do you know, even that charger itself is also consuming power, and that also goes as part of your electricity bill. So from the research we did, we found that over 30% of the electricity that we buy goes into waste in such mismanagement. So if we have there are over 1 million homes that are electrified in Uganda. So you can imagine if there are 1 million homes and each of those 1 million homes is over 30%. If let's say people are paying 100,000 for power, that's 30,000 Ugandan shillings from each home. For 1 million homes, that's over 30 million. 30 million, 300 million. It's a very large amount. Sorry for the miscalculation. So you can find that is money that we could be putting in something else. That's money that we could invest back into our economy, but it's going in wastage. So how we plan to sell this is we plan to do direct sales where we sell it like in these commercial tech shops where you find places that are selling sockets, we place this there, or we can bundle it together with other services like a Wi-Fi installation, or we can sell it to businesses. I think maybe let's say like here where we have what are they called? 3D printers, those places that do innovation, and we have very many people coming and going in. We could sell this to them, and then they can easily control their devices there. Yeah. So so far, what we have done is we have partnered with Macinipod, and of recently, Luera Electronics and Semiconductors that has provided us with so much help in mentorship and development of this product. We have done customer surveys. We have developed this prototype, and we are almost reaching the commercialization stage. So with me here is one of my team members, is the lead of our research. It's called Richard Onyait, and that has been Easy Home. Thank you very much.
Okay. I thought there would be a bigger round of applause. Some of you, when they talk about that fridge thing of fridges taking power, you keep on looking at your fridge, which has been existent from when you finished university, that is still in your house. And you're like, I think it's this fridge, but you're not sure. Anyway, so Easy Home, you can be able to look for them outside, and you can be able to find out how you can be able to get a hold of one of those smart sockets. The next one is tri-plugs. Tri-plugs, are you ready? If you could dash down really, really quickly, so that we can be able to continue. Tri-plugs is a tourism platform. Tri-plugs, if you could hurry quickly. A round of applause for tri-plugs as they come. And please remember, if you actually find the things that they're speaking about interesting, they're going to be outside in the tents outside where you can be able to get more information. Okay. Triplugs, your time already started.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Sinia Mgambe, and I'm a systems engineer with my colleague, Miss Vanessa Tessie. So I'm here to present to you our project. It's called Triplugs, a one-stop center for tourism for both local and international travelers. Please. Yes, so Triplugs is redefining tourism through innovation, connectivity, and e-commerce. Next slide. So the problem we are solving right now is travelers struggle to find authentic local events. Event organizers lack easy venue management. Tourists rent from multiple sources to get gear and transportation. Local vendors struggle to sell their crafts to the international and to both international and local travelers. Fragmented tourism experience, we lose a lot of revenues. So this is where Triplugs comes in. It's one stop where you can organize an event, you can look for event, you can book for transportation and events gear. So let's give an example. In case you're from the airport, some people find it hard to find transportation to places or hotels, anywhere, in case they are tourists. So Triplugs is here to solve the problem. So the solution, Triplugs is a one-stop tourism ecosystem integrating event discovery, ticketing, venue booking, transportation and accommodation, equipment rentals, e-commerce for local crafts, under one platform called Triplugs. Next. So these are the innovation highlights. AI trip planner for smart. This scenario suggestion is event plannings. Map-based event and venue discovery. We used Mapbox, multi-role platform for tourists, vendors, and organizers under one roof. Sustainable tourism, e-commerce, and integration. Next slide. So our target audiences, as you see, are the local and international tourists, event organizers, drivers or transport, and logistics providers, vendors selling local crafts, government and NGO promoting tourism. Next slide. So our business model is that we'll be generating revenue on commissions, product sales, rentals, subscription plans for organizers and vendors. We'll be advertising local companies. That's how they will be paying us, and tourism and data analytics. So could you please help share how the platform looks like? So this is how the platform looks like. Welcome to the Triplugs. So scroll down. Yeah, so you can explore Uganda, you can plan adventures, transportation, you can book for a gear. So you can go to the events. So this one, it shows how many events we have. Like, this is how it's going to render the events, how it's going to look like. Go to the hospitality, please. Faster, please. Time. So this is, let's say, in case there are hotels around which are free or something, or you can book. So this is how you're going to be booking. These are the details, how it's going to look like. Yeah, so the shop. Yeah, so we are not selling as Triplugs. We are targeting the vendors. So this shop, like kampalacrafts.com. Oh, it's done. Okay, thank you very much. I'm out of time, but that's how the system works.
All right, a big round of applause for Triplugs. The one thing you should have mentioned is there a credit so that we can take a loan and take your trips? Because we saw like $300 on one of those trips. But a round of applause for that innovation. All right, the next one is Capital Innovation. Ventures. Capital Ventures. All right, a round of applause for them. The fintech for organizing data for money lenders. So if you've seen some of the innovations before, you don't have money, let's listen to find out if these guys have money for us, or they know the people with the money. Capital Ventures, your time starts now.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm called Dennis Kabugo, and this is my co-founder and CTO, Daniel Tugume. Our company is called Capital Ventures, but the product we're here to present is Carboxy. And I would like to start with a question that I would like for you to sit with and meditate with. What do you think makes a great consumer market? And for me, I'll answer that question on my part. That is a good credit environment. So our problem is simple, and it has been there for some good time. So currently there is a credit gold rush in Uganda, as you can witness with the coming up money lender sector in Uganda. Licenses are being pushed out on a vast basis, and millions of Ugandans access credit through money lenders. But the problem is this data is just out in the world, and it limits the way we structure credit in Uganda. We did a 300 people survey that proved that people are afraid on how their numbers are managed. They are not sure of what they pay is what goes. They don't trust their officers, the agents that go out in the field on the money that they are given. And there is also a limitation in decision making with their institutional owners. So what Carboxy does, Carboxy is an app. Yes, we have an app and also a web app, and this helps in the routine management of a full financial sector. These money lenders, they usually use paper-based systems where someone comes into an office, applies on paper, leaves their national ID for nothing. I'll also add that, and gets assessed in the field, gives them money, and the collections are always based on hand-to-hand basis. But what Carboxy provides, it provides an interface where a person can apply via their phone when they are already connected to their money lender's interface. That loan gets approved, it's recorded in the system. All documentation that is created within the system, that will be the application, the KYC is created in the system. And collections are also managed through the system, where an agent goes out to the field, they will be able to record that I have received 100,000 from, let me say, from Melissa, and it will automatically enter the system. Even if the administrator, the owner of the company, is headquartered in Kampala, and the money lender agent is deep in Lake Albert, they will get that real-time data, which hasn't been happening. From personal experience, I used to work for a money lender in 2023, and we used to be deep in the village, but it used to take us up to like 1 a.m. to send in the data after coming back to the field, organizing them on book, balancing the books, taking photos, sending them via WhatsApp to our general secretary of the company to record, then update, then to confirm to us that that is okay, everything balances. So that's a bottleneck still to the creators. So how do we market? So we provided this platform where we market to the business people, meaning that to the financial institutions, and these financial institutions are the ones that are going to onboard their own client. So we created a framework that is called B2B for B2C, meaning that we business to business, but when revenue is coming from the client. What does this mean? We market to the money lender agents, but they are not the ones that are going to be paying us, no, which has already been happening. What they do, whenever there's a loan being disbursed, there's a 5,000 fee that is charged towards us. And this has already been happening. Money lenders, when they are processing a loan, there's always a service fee of around 15,000, 20,000. So this goes back to the client, who's going to benefit in the long run from what we have seen. But we haven't made Carboxy to be a borrowing tool for only the institution. We also made it to handle personal finance. Personal finance, these are small things that we have been doing all over. That is Bibina. Most of you know Bibina. These are group savings. At our own work, my own workplace, we have a Chibina, but it's still handled on paper. We just know that this number and this number, this person is getting money this week and this week. There's peer-to-peer finance. You wake up one morning, a friend be like, I need 100,000 from you. You just give them money, no documentation. Kaboxi creates that. We are currently working on embedding an API, payment API, and getting the licenses needed for automated payments so that everything gets automated, and which creates as another gate for revenue. So thank you very much. There's an AI system embedded in Kaboxi, and we are focusing on that because not everybody can interpret financial data properly. But this AI system provides a chatbot where you talk through, and the AI explains your data. It explains how many loans, what's your balances, your assets, your liabilities. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. A round of applause for Kaboxi. The one thing they haven't mentioned is how they catch you when you have run away with the money. All right, so next we are going to have Educreds. Educreds, are you ready? All right, if you could come very, very quickly so that we can be able to continue. Educreds works with blockchain infrastructure for issuing tamper-proof academic credentials. So these things of NASA Road, Vichy, they are out because of Educreds. Round of applause for Educreds.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul on behalf of Team Educreds. Yes, I want you members to imagine this with me. You go to school, you spend 4 years in university or 5, but again, one day, you lose a job to someone with a fake certificate. Not because they were better, but because the employer couldn't tell the difference. They couldn't distinguish between a fake certificate and an original one. So, this is totally unfair, right? Right now, academic credentials are edited, they are faked. Anyone who can print a fake certificate, most especially since we are in an era of AI, it can generate a lot of perfect fake certificates. That is the current problem that we are living in. If someone emails you a fake certificate, how can you tell it is real? You call the school, you wait for days, you wait for weeks, sometimes you even not get a reply. That is, there is a delay in the response. So, we are coming up with a project that is not only going to issue paper-proof academic documents, but also where verification will be instant and can be done anywhere in the world. We are leveraging a technology in the Industry 4.0, and that is blockchain technology, together with artificial intelligence. So, in short, or in simply to explain blockchain, it's a technology where anything that is written on it cannot be changed, cannot be deleted, no being tampered with. So that is the power of blockchain. And we're using this technology to issue the academic certificates, whereby if an institution puts an academic certificate on this blockchain, no one can delete it, no one can secretly edit the information on that certificate. And if it is done, everyone in the world can tell that this document is not original or someone tampered with it. So, that sounds good or very good. I will leave it to you. So, in short, that is our platform. And the problem is not only with fake certificates. It's also about fake institutions. Anyone can develop a website and they claim to be an academy. So Educreds is providing an infrastructure or a system where even the institutions will have to gain credibility for them to start issuing certificates. So we are having a platform where there is a part of a decentralization or what we call a DAO. And with this platform or this section, the institutions will have to gain credibility. So if they act with their work will be monitored by an AI which is embedded in our system. It can track the online activities of this institution and can tell that this institution is either acting with legitimacy or with dishonesty. If the institution acts with legitimacy, its credibility increases. But if they act with dishonesty, their credibility drops. So that is the Educreds. And at the end of that day, so realize that trust in education is very important for the fairness of each and every one. With EduCreds, this trust is secured, not by telling everyone to breathe, but giving them certainty. And together, working with AI, if you work with us, we can ensure that fairness is guaranteed in education sector, and every student gets fairness. Thank you very much.
Okay, a round of applause for EduCreds. Interesting innovation there. Okay, so the next one is 256 mining team. Are you ready? Okay, as 256 mining team comes up, they're innovating Innovating inclusion of AI in mining safety. So let's give them a big round of applause as they share with us.
Thank you. My name is Mwesje Moses. I'm a software developer by profession. Me and my team, we are innovating in the field of mining safety. Mining is a dangerous field to start with. Most people relate it to scams. Investor confidence is low. Let's give an example where if a Chinese comes in Uganda, they can also find it hard to communicate with people when they need to purchase minerals or buy and sell gold, silver, diamonds. Fields we are bridging in this innovation include depth awareness with 3D tunnel, showing miners how deep their mines are. That helps mine owners kind of show the miners what depth they are at. Then safety in terms of communication, buyers and sellers dialogue. That helps in case someone is new in the country. As you saw also this incident where the president's office with, I think, General Nakalema, where she had to intervene where a Chinese was scammed in terms of mineral deals. So that bridge, this system I'm building kind of bridges the direct communication with government. In case government is to invest, investor and government direct dialogue. Then I also have a language assistance with AI pronunciation, which could help bridge language
why is she bailing
changes. Pardon? Okay. So I also have a regulatory checklist, which mining owners kind of can follow. Let's say they have PPE gear, which their miners can kind of check off. Do I have a helmet? Do I have boots? Do I have a jacket? Then I also have a mineral analysis feature, which can also quick check a mineral in case you're in your garden and you come across, let's say, a black stone and you don't know what it is. You could kind of take a picture and upload and get a quick analysis of what you've come across. Then you go ahead with the dialogue, as I've said, in terms of safety. Thank you. It's Team 256 Mining.
256 Mining, you're outside as well, so in case people would like to be able to find them, they will have a tent out there where they are featuring. Okay, the next one I'm going to have is Your Farmer. Your Farmer, are you ready? Your Farmer, right? A big round of Your Farmer as they come. They utilize AI to detect pests and diseases and provide an online community for farmers. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wako Shadid Ismail. And with me, my colleague here is called Albert. We are junior software engineers. We are here to present to you your farmer. We want to empower Ugandan farmers through AI pest detection, and then market access, with also a vibrant community where farmers can share knowledge. The challenge we are solving, in Uganda, according to the UBOS report, 62% of the working sector is employed in agriculture, and in this 60% are employed in crop production and 37% in livestock, that is poultry and other farmers. Therefore, farmers face challenges. For example, when the breakout of fall armyworm came upon, a lot of farmers lost their maize because of fall armyworm and they didn't know what to do. But with AI, with our solution, you can use your smartphone to scan a crop, and then it will tell you that this crop is being affected by this. Like if this is a fall armyworm, it will tell you this is fall armyworm, and it will give you the recommendations on what you're supposed to do. And then also in poultry, for example, during COVID, I was with my dad in village, and we happened to get a breakout of Newcastle. We didn't know what to do, and we lost most of our poultry. But with your farmer, when you scan the droppings of the chicken, it will tell you that this is Newcastle, and for Newcastle there is no infection. What we recommend, you have to disinfect. You have to disinfect the poultry place and so on. And then the market we are looking at the farmers who grow crops. We look at the suppliers who supply produce and other equipments to farmers. From the application, you can be able to buy as a buyer. With this, a farmer will get income, and by this we are providing market access to those farmers. And then also for the supplies, like for example, you can have a tractor here and then a farmer outside there does not have their equipment. Therefore, they can rent yours and use it for cultivating. With your farmer, we also have a community. In this community, different farmers will be able to share knowledge, like you can communicate with different farmers. For example, in case there is an outbreak, we inform your fellow farmers that there is this outbreak. You should, for example, prepare for it, and then it can be a measure to curb the spread of the problem. And then also we have resources. For resources here, for example, as you see YouTube, you can go on YouTube and be taught different things. For example, you can learn good farming practices with our application. So for those farmers who do not have access to that knowledge, they can also be able to gain access. Okay, thank you. Your farmer is here to solve the problems of us as Ugandans, because I'm 100% sure here everyone has been employed into agriculture, and most of us have been taught from income that has come out from agriculture. Therefore, we are here to support the farmers of Uganda and Africa at large. Thank you.
A big round of applause for your farmer. As they were talking and they mentioned the thing about taking a picture of chicken poop and then finding out what disease it has, I just remember the time I decided to try farming, and banange, all the chickens died. When I was left with 10, I said, we are going to eat chicken every day until the chickens are done. So your farmer, that's a good innovation. Right, next we are going to have Seal Home. Seal Home, are you ready? All right, Seal Home. Seal Home is dealing in smart security systems. Let's give them a round of applause as they come. In case they have stolen your TV, your fridge, your kettle, some of you keep complaining they steal your chargers. Let's hear from Seal Home and find out what they have.
All right, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. With me, I'm with my co-founder, Mr. Ivan, and I am Biamuka Madeo, founder Silom Security. So I'll start with a brief question. How many of us own security systems at home? I guess the list of us. And if it is so, most of us have camera systems. But Silom presents a solution in the field of alarm systems. So we locally manufacture alarm systems. And here with me, I moved with a design. This is a PCB. We locally design this and manufacture it here. We have all the skills to design and assemble and have this to the market. So you notice that most of us rely on government to guarantee our security. But Silhome is here to empower the average person to make sure that you have the capacity to monitor your homes, your businesses, your farms, and have real-time alerts. For example, our system features functions like real-time notification for attacks. You receive a phone call. More so, you have wireless devices. For example, it is modular in nature. You can expand it. And basically, you have to monitor doors and windows. Additionally, you have motion sensors. So you have your home or business all secured around. So I'm looking at the average business which cannot afford these corporate security companies, namely the SGA. What do you use for your security? So Silom presents a solution, the alarm systems. And existing security systems, we have them on market, but the problem is they are not affordable. And the other thing is their technology is not adopting to the local problems. For example, you find that Silhome presents customizable solutions. You can present to us your problem, and our engineers sit down, customize to your exact need. We all have those provisions, which is not the case for the off-the-shelf products that you'll find downtown or anywhere. Also, our system is viable in a way that even the companies that offer that gun security, for example, the ones that they always deploy all around in the evening, can adopt to our system to improve their efficiency. They can have them, for example, instead of deploying 4 guards to monitor a field, you'll need 1 person to only respond to alarms instead of having a lot of manpower. And the other thing is our systems are designed for the rural setting. You find that they are all battery powered, they are wireless in nature, and they are easy to install. You find that it is a plug and play. For example, if you visit us, you find that today we are showcasing a fingerprint system whereby a user can have smart functions. You can enroll with a fingerprint, you arm, you disarm, and all that. More so, our systems are IoT based. We have an application in design that will feature this system. You'll have interactions like the smart switch on your mobile phone. You have real-time alerts coming to your mobile phone, and more so in the future. And we're also looking at integrating AI in the security section. As I conclude, I'll emphasize that this security system is one that you'll find locally made. You can look around, but you only find that security is mostly into cameras and other things. But Silom presents to you alarm system as a viable solution. Thank you so much.
Okay, a big round of applause for them. Okay, then the last one that we're going to have is Santech. Santech, are you ready? If you could come up. What they're doing is they're using AI and embedded systems to implement a prototype for industrial fruit sorting, thus improving the juice quality for Ugandan industries. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Walusimbi, team leader of Team Santech. We are from Sorority University. We do electronics and computer engineering. We traveled a long way to be here, but we thank God that we're here. So we are presenting a machine learning-based industrial fruit sorting system. Ladies and gentlemen, Imagine if our Ugandan juice brands were competing internationally, like Coca-Cola. Like you go to the United States and you find a brand like Teju. Teju is a brand in Sorority. We have a company there next to the university. But recently there was a report that they have 5.5 average annual losses in operational costs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this could be, let's mark the word could be, overlooked if, let's say they were focusing on the quality of the product, so maybe they overlook the marketing. But we know that if a product is very good, it can market itself. So what we are doing literally is we have built a system, a prototype, that is going to use technology, specifically machine learning. We are learning, it has learned the texture, the various patterns, the ages of various fruits, regardless what they are, whether oranges, mangoes, everything. So we are going to sort a fruit that is good enough to be quality, something that can go international. Because when it comes to quality, it goes to the fundamentals. How are you sorting the fruits that you are, whose juice you are making? If we are adding, if we are saying we're doing value addition, true, but how much value? Now, that is defined fundamentally. What are you using to sort your fruit? So this system is for sorting fruits with technology accurately. And not this, currently they're using human labor. Human labor, it's susceptible to fatigue. These are sacks and sacks, millions of fruits being sorted by humans. So this system will never get tired. It will always sort accurately. That means we are assured that at least the basic raw material entering this machine is high standard. Now this is where we start from to take over the world, because we have organic fruits in Uganda. Coca-Cola is even a synthetic beverage. So we have capacity to take over the world when it comes to the organic fruits. But when we add value, we must add value to international scale. We must be able to compete internationally. So that's why we're developing this system using machine learning, and we're using it for industrial fruit sorting. So it's not merely sorting between good and bad. No, we're setting a foundation for quality. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is my teammate Sophie Okolong, Gerasem Ogwapet. We thank you.
A big round of applause for Santech. They traveled all the way from Soroti to be here. And some of you who are coming from Bwaise were saying, Banange, there is jam here in Kampala. Then they had to take that whole journey, then also face your jam. Right, a very big round of applause for all of them. So just so that we have a bit of a small breather, I would like to, we're going to have some entertainment that's going to be coming through from Kanyonza. And they are going to just give us a few tunes here and there. And as they come, I want to just mention 3 of the innovators who haven't just got the time to speak, but they are in the room and they will be available outside. We have Virtua, which is on digital infrastructure for immersive tourism. We have Magnetic AI Lab, which is failure prediction for industrial machinery, and Fortress Stack, secure on-premise AI infrastructure for Ugandan institutions. And additionally, just after our entertainment gives us a bit of tunes, I'll just tell you the prizes that they will be winning and the awards that they will be receiving. But right now, I welcome Kayonza.
Ebigambo bisamala nyayana wajawe korenta obisamala nyayana ababugala timpulire obisamala nyayana boja babukomanga mutere ebisamala nyayana kabwana buno kaburungi bisamala nyayana boja muhugule ntabawera obisamala nyayana boja musasama katujende mari obisamala nyayana wajawe korenta obisamala nyayana kabwana buno kaburungi obisamala nyayana boja musasama katujende mari abisamala nyariana abaja wakorenta abisamala nyariana boja muhugura ntabawera Abisabala ira nyariana boja musasa malaka tujende abisabala ira nyariana kabwana buno kaburungi abisabala ira nyariana boja wenkolet gamba abisabala ira nyariana kabwana buno kaburungi musambe sambe tugende dola yewe yewe hai yewe dola yewe ha bukaire ko butakaire mukago boja lero hai yewe dola boja habasa wanaganyisa mukago boja lero hai yewe dola boja muhugure nabawere dola yewe 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 ha bukaire ko butakaire lero hai yewe dola boja habasa wanaganyisa mukago boja lero hai yewe dola boja muhugure nabawere yewe yewe hai yewe dola yewe ha bukaire ko butakaire mukago boja lero hai yewe dola boja habasa wandaganyisa mukago boja lero hai yewe dola boja muhugure nabawere yewe 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 hai yewe yewe ha mukaire ko butakaire mukago yewe 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 ha musambe samba tugende dola boja lero hai yewe dola nyawa bukaire ko butakaire mukago boja lero hai yewe dola boja muhugure nabawere dola yewe yewe dola nyawa bukaire wange yewe yewe hai yewe yewe ha musambe samba tugende boja lero hai yewe dola nyawa bukaire ko butakaire mukago boja lero hai nyawa musambe samba tugende dola boja lero hai yewe dola boja yewe yewe dola mutemuno Anjolina wake up, tell what I know. Anjolina wake up. Anjolina wake up, tell what I know. Anjolina wake up, tell. Ben Mona wake up, tell what I know. Come tell what I know. I wake up, tell what I know. Anjolina wake up, tell. Ben Mona wake up, tell what I know. Anjolina wake up, tell what I know. Anjolina wake up, tell. Ben Mona Nico, tell what I need. Jolina, wake up, tell. I see wake up, tell what I need. Jolina Nico, tell what I see wake up, tell what I need. And Jolina, wake up. I see wake up, tell what I need. Hey. Anjolina Nico, tell what I know. I wake up, tell what I know. Ben Mona Nico, tell what I know. Anjolina way. Yalonge, yele sapiri to me, bola, yele sapiri to me. Yeah, my mona, yo, 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 my mona, my mona, yeah, yo, my mona, yeah, yo, my mona, yeah, yo, my mona, woo, yo, my mona, yo, my mona. Yo my mona, yo my mona, yo my mona, my mona, yo my mona, yo my mona, my mona, yo my mona, yo my mona, my mona, yo my mona, ya kaiwana.
Yore bakari jitoka manzi, yore bakari, oyaro yare mawe. Mawere wanajena ye, ukurucho yere ndikaitwa. Ay mawere wanajena yara bakaji, parapari wakajanya ye. Ay kamanzire baza wetu che yore bakari jito. Yewe weta tarikarabwa yore, yore baza wahuzani rabwa che yore bakari jito. Lerera waruha, lerera waruha, lerera waruha, lerera waruha. akashara kwa kubarengeza aye. Thank you. We are Kanyonza Culture Troupe.
I expected a bigger round of applause. All right. So earlier I had said we had 3 innovators who didn't get a moment to speak to us. So I have been advised, and following requests from the innovators, because many of them have put their heart and soul into this, that we give them 3 minutes each, they speak, and then they can have this platform. So Virtua, are you in the room? All right, a big round of applause for Virtua as they come. Real quickly, 3 minutes. They're going to speak about digital infrastructure for immersive tourism. All right? Virtua, your time starts now.
Slides. Hello everyone, my name is Adam Katongole, and I'm here to present Virtua, digital infrastructure for immersive tourism. Next slide. So meet James, an international tourist. He Googles the best safaris in Uganda, scrolls through random blog posts, and receives WhatsApp images from a tour operator. So he sees edited hotel photos on Instagram, and he sends the deposit now to the tour operator after seeing the images. 3 weeks later, he arrives and realizes that the lodge room looks different. They are told him that there are 2 toilets, and he has found an outside latrine. Next slide. Next. So, next. Daniel is not alone. About 75% of global travelers rely on digital research before booking. But fewer than 10% of African destinations offer immersive digital previews. For a fact, 60% of East African tourism operators still rely on manual or PDF-based bookings. Next slide. So meet Virtua, which is an digital immersive tourism experience. We're going to be outside to give you a bigger overview. We have a landing page where you can easily put in your destination and explore amazing cities. Next slide. So our major unique feature is our smart itinerary generator, where you have an AI assistant which can help you plan a trip. And right there you can see a trip which I planned from Kampala to Jinja. And I told the AI smart itinerary generator that I'm moving from Kampala to Jinja. I'm moving with one other tourist, and I gave it the dates, and it actually got to generate my itinerary. You can see on the right, it generated for me that day 1, what I'll do, my breakfast, and all that. On the right here, you can see a virtual experience of a hotel, and this is a 3D view where you can go through different views and actually see where you're going. Through our platform still, you can get to book the hotels themselves and the experiences. Next slide. So our uniqueness is that you can virtually walk inside the hotels, you can generate smart itineraries, and you can also actually book through our platform. So Virtua transforms static images to immersive confidence, and it also transfers book viewers to interactive discovery and uncertainty to informed decisions. Next slide. So what's our business model? How shall we make money? You might be asking yourself, can you make money out of virtual experience? Well, our major business model is commission-based revenue, where we have already partnered with actually one of those there. We have partnered with Innovator already over the affiliate program, and we have already started earning through the affiliate program on every activity booked through our platform. So we are going to earn commissions through Booking.com, Kayak for the flight planning, and then also Airbnb for the Airbnbs. So we earn about 5 to 15% of the bookings. So our marketing opportunity is that, next slide. The global online travel market is projected to reach $1.2 trillion by 2020. And for a fact, 70% of travel bookings now start digitally. So we know that Africa is a tourism hotspot. The Africa tourism sector is valued at about $168 billion. And we know that Uganda in 2024 received about 1.37 million tourists. Next slide. So as I conclude, we have already made partnerships with Innovator, and we are now looking to make partnerships with Booking.com, Those are our affiliate partners. But part of the technology and AI integration, we want to make a partnership with Sunbird AI, and I'm very lucky I've seen Sunbird here today. And we are looking to make a partnership with ABQ so that we can get our platform hosted on ABQ. Thank you so much.
Okay, big round of applause. Thank you. I'm sorry for rushing you, but thank you for that lovely presentation. Okay, so I think the partnership with ABQ, you have done well by putting the logo there. It will work quickly. You're a clever man. The people, all the powers that be have understood and seen that trick. All right, so the next presenter I am going to have is Magnetic AI Lab. Magnetic, are you ready? All right, Magnetic, if you could draw yourself closer. They speak to failure prediction for industrial machinery. A round of applause for Magnetic.
Good morning. My name is Jotham, and this is David. I am a machine learning engineer with a master's in machine learning. So we've built a mathematical algorithm for industrial machine failure prediction. One of the key challenges with industrial machinery is untimed, unplanned failure. We've had scenarios where entire production lines have stopped just because machine failed without any warning signs. So what we do is our algorithm takes in either vibration data or sound data, direct and live, and it is able to visualize that to the, let's say, plant manager or production manager to see if there are any warning signs or deterioration in the mode in which the machine is operating. So with this, you as the production line manager, you're able to get early warning signs before a machine actually breaks down. But also, most importantly, you will get alerts on your phone, so you don't have to be on the production floor to know if something is going wrong. So we did a prototype with a large cooler industrial compressor manufacturing company, and we're able to predict failure due to a leakage 14 days earlier. And so we believe that this solution is going to be of much help. So our solution is targeted at manufacturing plants, mining, dairy and food processing, where we have critical timelines, especially in terms of failure prediction, and then also power distribution. So we've had scenarios where transformers are blowing up without any warning signs. So if you actually go into the nitty-gritties of the sound and vibration data of these machines, you can be able to predict and know if a machine is deteriorating over time or it's going to fail, so that you take preventive action. So one of the ways that this is helping save costs for businesses is usually most of our companies, manufacturers, are reactive, so they wait for something to fail and then maybe they have to send someone from Germany, you know, the original equipment manufacturers, to come and do this maintenance, right? But this now gives you an early warning sign so that you do frequent maintenance, but also you save costs on unplanned and scheduled maintenance schedules, so that you only do the maintenance when you're supposed to do the maintenance. Yeah, that's it from us. We're outside. You can come out at our booth for a demo. Thank you.
Thank you. They have surely kept time. So a big round of applause to them once again. Then last but not least, we are going to have Fortress Stack. Fortress Stack does secure on-premise AI infrastructure for Ugandan institutions. Fortress, let's give them a round of applause as they come. You can see the AI is working. Everyone has come with a laptop. Him has come with a phone. So let's listen.
Yes, my name is Valinda Mbarak, and I'm a final year student of computer science at Agrich University. I'm here to present Fortress, a secure AI on-premise infrastructure for Ugandan institutions. So Uganda, like many countries, like many developing countries, is accelerating digital transformation. Our financial systems are all digitalizing, but our health records are also moving online. Artificial intelligence is being integrated in every workflow, like decision-making systems and, like they have said, production lines for industries. But the critical question here that we rarely ask ourselves is, who controls the infrastructure that we all use? Who is caring about the enterprise workflows? Everyone is caring about consumer AI and consumer products. Who is caring about enterprises like institutions, hospitals, and banks? So Fortress comes in with an AI solution to help tackle the dependency on foreign cloud providers. The theme that is being emphasized today is sovereignty, which is in alignment with ABQ Launch, and Fortress through its Dockerized deployment on infrastructure and on the data centers of institutions will help manage AI workflows within sovereign isolated environments, ensuring data control and regulatory compliance, and also national data independency. Yeah. The major essence is to prevent our our data, like health records, let's say a law firm wants to use AI within their workflows, maybe to detect fraudulent activity. They don't have to rely on cloud providers like ChatGPT or Gemini into their workflows, but rather host the AI locally and deploy it on their own data centers. Yeah, that's the essence of Fortress.
All right, a very big round of applause for them. So those are all the innovators. So many exciting innovations that have come up, and many of these innovators actually took part in the hackathon that took place towards the close of last year. I just want to highlight and mention very quickly the prizes that are there for the innovators to win today, so that you can be able to understand what is at stake for many of these innovators. So for the winners, what they will receive is cloud credits for 1 whole year, entirely free. Additionally, they will also receive free internet connectivity for 1 year. They will also receive seed capital of 2.5 million Uganda shillings. And then they will also receive incubation at the Deep Tech Center of Excellence, which is where we are, for 1 year. By incubation, I believe this means that you have a space which covers rent, electricity. I don't know about electricity, but yeah, you will have an office that you can be able to operate out of. And so we wish all of these innovators the best of luck. I know that the team from STI has thoroughly reviewed a lot of the presentations and the platforms that you created. And so we wish you the very best. We shall be announcing the top 4 winners later on in our program. So right now I'd like to take a moment and request all of us to just put our hands together as we appreciate some of our sponsors for the day. We have Rock Telcom, we have EDIC, who happens to be our hosts. We have Raxio, the data center company. They're just located across the road. We have STI, and we have Afrey Cloud as well. And so to kick us off formally, I'd like to invite Mr. James Biaruhanga to say a few quick words, and after which we shall continue with the program. As well, I would like to inform you that our guest of honor, I've been informed, is on the way and should be with us shortly. Like I said, it's a minister. I'll only mention when she's in the parking lot her name. But let's give a round of applause for Mr. James Biaruhanga as he comes to speak to us. Seems like he wants more hand claps. We want to give you more hand claps. Also, additionally, some people wanted to difficult to connect. If you wanted to update your apps or anything like that, you can be sure to do that. But as James continues to try to remove the microphone that he's wearing, I'm going to invite the cultural troupe to come and give us another piece. Kanyoza, if you can come and give us another piece.
Abange mumpa kungala oluyimba lunyimire. Awange kona kungama bakisimba evuga tabalamusa. Ngambye kona kungama bakisimba evuga. Fenna betwala babaze. Awange sukuliro mukubi wembuti tabalamusuge. Mutabarunta bembuga tabalamusa. Fenna betwala babagenyi. Zikakana abange zinengome nganda. Twasimye kuyimbira abakulu. Abange nyimba nta mu maaso g'abantu. Bannange nga seeyanjudde. Tamanyaze nakato Aisha gowulira. Munnange neddira mamba. Sirya mamba amazzi nywanze. Laba eno ndi muganda. Omukulu wamu nantumye okubalaba. Abange temuli mutya abakulu. Baliwa abasinyi b'enninda. Abange twasimye nnyo okuyimbira embuga. Bukedde obudde bukedde. Mubadde mutya abalungi ab'embuga. Mwatwala abalungi mwetwale. Fenna betwala baba. Ndabirawo abagenda muninde. Bukedde obudde bukedde twabalamusa. Fenna betwala babaze. Fenna betwala babagenyi. Abange mwatwale muli baana babobo. Fenna betwala babaze. Tulaba kutya abalungi ab'embuga. Bukedde bulungi abagenyi abamuno twabalamusa. Fenna betwala babaze. Abange twasimye nnyo okuyimbira embuga. Bukadde butya budde bukadde. Fenna betwala babaze. Abange fenna betwala babaze. Abange mwatwale muli baana babobo. Bukedde bulungi abagenyi abamuno twabalamusa. Fenna betwala babagenyi. Abange mwatwala obudde bukedde. Kale twasimye okuyimbira abakulu twabalamusa. Fenna betwala babagenyi. Abange mwabuka obudde bukedde. Ndabirawo abagenda muninde twabalamusa. Fenna betwala babaze. Twabalamusa. Fenna betwala babaze. Abange mwatwale mwanisa abakulu. Kale nesimye okuyimbira embuga. Ndabirawo abagenda muninde. Kale twasimye okuyimbira embuga. Abange mwatwala obudde bukadde. Ndabirawo abagenda muninde. Twasimye okuyimbira embuga. Abange tanse. Kalabako obudde bukadde. Bukadde obudde bukadde. Kale mpogala abalungi ngenda. Kalabako abagenda muninde. Enda mwogo yeesala balungi nabi. Omwoyo mulondo gw'oyagala kumulondoola. wange namwoko yesala barungi nawe moyo mulondo goyagala ku mulondo. Namwoko yesala barungi moyo mulondo goyagala ku mulondo ra. Zivuge awange kale kale chabula otyo perekera namnene perekera masotara perekera namnene karawange perekera namnene uwara perekera masotara wachina tuwe wewe baba perekera namnene perekera masotara perekera namhotyo gwaja wewe baba chichi wewe baba wewe nnyo namogo yesala olungi nabyo mulondo kwagala ku mulondola yesala olungi nabyo mulondo.
Rutagaramba bukamanga yacimita rutaba rutengita rutaguza nkanyaga n'abatoto akahamba n'enkamba na karibito busyazo bugaruka nyuma nkwisi yakoma na rwekoba akabarabara kata macumu kundu tenga nukondo rwana katakanje katatina bajungu kagandere teta icozo naganamuje cyetubuhenda kalira mbundu nkubito mushengura ngambe manze tahunga tibo bagizire ngo butabwe cibi tiburwana tinye na burasese fungule bikona bikakwata umuhanda seri ry'abirenje kagitera kashana katagata kairima katwata hamishe mpungu twimatira bigaga ingabo yanje rubanda birego tukayitakana impango ari kabahima nkabandi na ruguza rwataba hunjiro rwese gamunyeto na karasi yagalteziringa nairi batamukaga majingo dinyandara rote takesha kula hari muhabura nkayikanga ikarara nkayihumurizika gweshekera nakarekera kayanga rushunduka nayenda kwero hakibuga bakandita bugonje banyamagana nari bato mu kibuga cya mutambukenya na zaco bisibo naye zoza mesho nakunda namurenga twarugo ruhinda rubucurika nabagalika bunumita ye tindagwire nkaranga ma nitiro mu kabungo kabunura na rwakabare bana banje amatanga yaritera karanga jijije nkuru zaburo bwira rugigara ntingahane inzibima nari batakabare katengatenga nteye imwe bana bamawe ubwo yihamba ngaburisya nimwe rufungira kigage byevugo byanyuka fkambikangize rutimbaga kantimbe kibuna cyota nimwe bana bamawe nari bato mu kibuga cya mutambuka enyana zacu maguru gayizimbwa bakakarega bakakanangira bakasigira bukwaturo bwa rugungire manzerenga nabo kayitira kavuna bukoro umuntu wanje namamba za mitima rwa katoma banyatakatece kakashemburo rwahura na ngingo muyaga gwayitumba wisire ntare yakano kajije kakaze namerekanya kacwamba imwe bana muterere ngoma za ingoma ireba mwana cyaraje kwihongiho ndisha orubengo orubengo ne rwenda sisono bana bamawe nirwenda siso orubengo nirwenda siso rubengo rwa shenkuru nirwenda siso yorubengo nirwenda siso nonjorubengo iye nkwanza za muko weshaza kwisha batishoboroka yaye yayiwe mawe iye nkwanza yi shaza yakwesha batishoboroka yaye yo mwana yarira nanke iwe nkwanza za muko weshaza kwisha batishoboroka yaye yacharushonjera yacharushonjera yejogone mburaga imwe bana bamawe yacharushonjera yejogone mburaga iye bana batata yewe bana banje yejogone mburaga iye nimwe bare nimwe barabataho nimwe bare nimwe baraba nimwe bakanyonza bana banje mwakora nimwe baraba eco kitagururo ecyo cyankore nimwe baraba buzima nimwe bare
A very, very big round of applause. So right now we're just going to make a change. Mr. James Biaruhanga was going to speak to us, but on our program we had a panel that we had planned, so that's what we are going to do now. And James will speak later when our guest of honor arrives. And so we are going to talk about driving innovation using AI, sovereign cloud. And so I'm going to invite our panelists up. Not in any particular order, but just because we have to call them up, so I just have to call their names. But all of them are really distinguished individuals, both in the technology space and are really pivotal to this particular occasion. So I'd like us to put our hands together as we welcome Mr. James Biaruhanga, the Managing Director of Rock Cloud, as he comes up to the stage. I'd also like us to put our hands together as we welcome Mr. Eric Mugerwa, the CTO of ABQ. Then I'd like us to put our hands together as we welcome Mr. David Gonahasa, the team lead of Industry 4.0 at the Bureau of Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat. And last but not least, I'd like us to welcome Ms. Caroline Kamathia, the General Manager of Raxio Data Center. All right. It's a privilege to have all of you here, and such a delight. I notice the pictures are not corresponding with where people are sitting, so in case you have bad eyesight, please don't get them mixed up. All right, but you're all very welcome, and thank you for being a part of this launch and also a part of this panel. And so I will start off by getting the most basic question out of the way, but as everyone tries to answer this, I would like for you to just also quickly introduce yourself, okay? So the most basic question I would really like to put out there is, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, the word cloud has two definitions. One, it's a visible mass of condensed watery vapor floating within the atmosphere, typically high above the general level of ground. The second definition, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, is it's used to refer to a state or case of gloom, suspicion, trouble, or worry. We keep on speaking about cloud, but the Oxford Dictionary doesn't speak about the cloud in this technology space. So, what is cloud? Ladies first.
Oh, great. Morning, is it morning? Afternoon? Afternoon, everyone. It is, you can hear me well? A bit of an echo? Okay, great. So it is an absolute pleasure to be here as partners of Roke and as they launch the ABQ Cloud. We couldn't be more proud of what they've been able to achieve through the partnership that we have. So now the question is, what is cloud? Option A was the cloud in the cloud.
Condensed water.
Yeah, the condensed water. Option B was
The state of gloom. So which one is which?
The
But
state-
if you have the new definition, you tell us, because it seems like the Queen hasn't yet updated her English to cater for this technology.
Well, when we think about cloud, we think about an environment, and especially with what we're going to be going through today, the ABQ Cloud Launch. In our perspective as Raxio, we see it as the ability to create an environment where there is several components that come together. So when you talk specifically about a sovereign cloud, we think of having AI components, in this case, whether they're GPU stacks or high, equipment or platforms that are able to process AI in a meaningful way. When we talk about AI, so when we talk about AI, it's one of those where we have multiple definitions. And sorry, guys, is that okay now? It's okay. Okay. Yeah, so when we talk about AI, there are so many definitions that try to lock in on exactly what we're talking about. And if you ask my mother what AI is, it's very different from what I define as AI. But at the end of the day, we're talking about data, we're talking about the capability to compute, the capability to process, and the capability to be able to get meaningful output out of lots and lots of data. But now coming back to cloud and what we see as cloud, especially today when you're talking about the sovereign cloud, it's having an AI component there, it's having the GPUs in place, it's having a regulatory framework where we are complying with the local laws of the land because the concept then remains local. And it's also a question of compliance. We've heard a lot about data sovereignty and the importance of having data being local. But in Africa still continues to be a challenge. How do we do that when we have competing interests on the public cloud, the Amazons and such like? So my answer to you, Principal, is that cloud, in our view, and especially in the context of today, is really an environment that brings together all these components and enables us to compute and enables us to create value from fragments of data. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You've used a lot of words. David, do you care to simplify as you also introduce yourself? Just reducing it and making it much easier for people to understand.
I feel like it's the techies on the panel should be answering that question because they know what cloud is. But so my name is David Gonahasa. I am the team lead. You mixed up this whole name of where I work. So it is the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat in the Office of the President. We're also known as the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. When you ask me what is cloud, I want to use an example. So James over here a few years ago did have gray hair, and he was much smaller, and he used to build technology. And the thing is, either he had to put racks of servers in his office and buy AC and make sure he has constant power and all the compute and bandwidth he required to run his application. A few years later, he learned that all that could be virtual. So in my opinion, cloud is access to virtual services that will enable your business to run. So your server is virtual, your bandwidth is virtual, your GPUs are virtual, and you can pay for this. Now, this is already available, like she said. So you have your AWS and you have your GCP and all the others. But what if it was local? Because unfortunately, regulation states that if you're running a fintech solution or you're running a health tech solution, your data must be stored locally. So either you're going to have the money to afford all this extremely expensive infrastructure, or you're going to have a service where you can actually buy these services as virtual. And the beauty of that is it takes this away from being capital expenditure to operating expenditure you can scale. It reduces your cost of starting and running your business. So if you ask me to sum this all up, cloud in this case is infrastructure. And in this case, what we're launching today is infrastructure to enable Ugandan innovators build, and scale their businesses.
Okay, thank you.
And I think we finished that question now.
I want to see if someone can just give it like one line. All right, Eric, you can introduce yourself real quick. If you want to take a shot at the question as well, you can do so.
Yes, I'm Eric Mugerwa. I'm the ABQ CTO. I'm technical, so I usually give complex answers. But many of you are technical here. So for me, cloud is computing resource available anywhere, anytime, self-service. So anything you use on your phone, on any of your devices, that is the cloud. You don't care where it sits, you don't care where it is. All you want to do is say, send an email, read a document, watch a video. That is all cloud. What do we bring here? We bring the underlying infrastructure closer, local, so that people can now build the TikToks, the Ring, all these services that we see. These are cloud services. Now you can deploy them as innovators and entrepreneurs, as startups. You can deploy them on this local capacity that we're bringing here. So yes, cloud is everything, computing anywhere, accessible to anyone.
James, would you like to introduce yourself real quick, but try and summarize everything. Everyone is making it scientific.
All right. Yeah, hi, my name is James Biaruhanga. I'm the managing director for Rock Cloud, which is a partner in this ABQ Cloud project. Maybe to answer the question in one word, I can ask one, right? Just randomly, anyone. What do you call a cloud in your language? Anyone can just shout from there. Okay. So we have a Chide, we have a Bichu. Anyone else? These two handle all your tribes? Okay, so let's pick one. Ebichu. So cloud is Ebichu. In summary.
Cloud is Ebichu. What we see outside is what is...
What cloud is?
ABQ.
ABQ. All right, so today is a historic milestone. Let me get into the questions now so that we don't spend too much time on this. Today is a historic milestone. And so one of the questions and the words that has been thrown around quite a bit is sovereign cloud. As the build-up to this was coming up, sovereign cloud was mentioned. And so there's a big question. What is a sovereign cloud, and why does Uganda need this?
Okay, so maybe I can jump in and maybe the rest of the guys can come in. So I think there are several aspects to it. The first angle would be to look at regulatory compliance. As some of you might be aware, like driven from Europe, there was the whole European regulatory standard, which they call GDPR. And the idea was that all the data that is generated, personal data that's generated and utilized in Europe stays within the boundaries of Europe or countries that actually conform to this regulatory framework. And consequently, the rest of the world started picking up what they felt worked for them and started building their own, what you'd say, local acts and regulations. So recently, Uganda, I mean like 5-6 years ago, Uganda had its own data protection and privacy policy passed. The act was passed, the parliament allowed this to go ahead, and currently there is actually a unit under NITA which handles this. And the idea is that partly all private data, all data concerning citizens of the country should stay at least within the boundaries of the country. And this does not just mean plain data, it also means business data. So if you're doing any business, like you're a bank, insurance company, anything and everything you do, and you're working with citizens and there's data that has citizens' information, the regulatory compliance dictates that you should stay within the boundaries. So that's one side of things. But on the technical side, we have another reason why this is important. We usually call it latency. Latency is basically delay. It is how slow you can get to the application you want to use. Now, when you have anything sitting locally, it means that it is switched locally, it is accessed locally. And latency comes in because of customer experience. So when you're using the World Wide Web or any other applications to do anything, you don't want to wait too long because that's inefficient. So the need for local applications or local connectivity to access applications makes latency a strong and useful thing for you to get a better customer experience. So because these guys are also going to jump in, I want to just sort of say that those are two main drivers. One is compliance, and the other is customer experience, which is based on latency. But Eric, I think, can also speak to that as well as David. And
yes, sovereign cloud has three important aspects: data sovereignty, operational sovereignty, and digital sovereignty. Data sovereignty is more of privacy. Your data must be private, and you must have control over it. You must encrypt it, you must make sure where it is stored and housed physically is safe, like Ragsio. And then there's locality, like he said. It is in which jurisdiction is it? Operational sovereignty, who handles your data? Who handles where your data is kept? If it's Amazon, it's somewhere in Virginia. You don't know anyone to talk to. But if it's in Uganda and it's handled by ABQ or Rock Cloud, then you know that if I have an issue, we are under the same jurisdiction. Then we have things like availability. Is it resilient? So it must be resilient. We have resilience at Ragsio. We have another ABQ location in country. So data is resilient. If it fails, you're not totally lost. Thirdly is digital sovereignty. Governance, transparency. Governance, are the laws applicable? So if I'm hosting in Uganda, I'm a fintech in Uganda, and my data is in America, if I have an issue with Amazon, I have to take it to the American courts. I can't bring them to the Ugandan courts. But if I have an issue with ABQ, I can bring them to the Ugandan courts and resolve this. And then transparency. Where is my data being, where is it going? Can the government track my data? If it's in Amazon, Virginia, you can't do that. So these three aspects, when they add up with our sovereign cloud, we bring all these things and tie them together. And the users are fairly confident that, yes, we have a local organization and hang our data and it will follow all the rules.
I would add the question because I think it has partially been answered, but I would add a question to this. Why is this important to the government that when this initiative was born, you decided to come alongside it?
Yeah. So I think the technical guys have said a lot from a tech perspective what sovereignty implies. From a government perspective, and I speak more for the STI Secretariat, and this is important, what we realized was a constant complaint about the cost of compute, the cost of hosting, and this runs across multiple workloads, right? So from your basic storage through to AI compute, there was a challenge around cost. Now, yes, the hyperscalers are providing you a lot of credits and similar solutions, but you will not be able to test out your fintech application, for example, effectively locally. You get it licensed. You won't be able to do it with healthcare. So being able to provide infrastructure that enables builders to actually start trying out things was our biggest driver. And the reason why it was done this way was so that we can allow anyone, anyone. How do we make product development inclusive? How do we make commercializing of products more inclusive? We provide the infrastructure. So this is one of the shared infrastructure projects that we're supporting. And the idea is that we want to scale this up to include capacity for AI, increase storage capacity and compute capacity to allow Ugandans to build what it is that they need to.
A question that someone would probably ask you as a representative of government here is, why is this a priority for our government? Why should we actually spend taxpayer money on this? We have roads which need to be worked on. Everyone is talking about traffic jam, electricity blackouts. Why invest in a cloud platform at such a time when there are also other pressing needs that probably exist?
One of my favorite statements I had over the last few years is solving visible signs of poverty does not turn around economies, right? And I think for a very long time, many governments in Africa have focused on, yes, you have sanitation problems, build more toilets or build more boreholes. Or in reality, these problems are really systemic and a result of something else, the result of your inability to create wealth. Now, for us to create wealth, we must focus on how do we build high-value goods and services, and technology is one of those. In fact, to be honest, we want this company, ABQ or Rock Cloud, to become very big companies. We like to play with the word unicorns from time to time. But yes, we believe that if you build a strong enough cloud solution for Africa, you have the potential to achieve unicorn status. But what does that mean? What that means is that if this company becomes that big, they start to reinvest here. They start to help solve the problems because of what we think is responsibility, right? As long as you are, think about how many Ugandans are currently paying one of the hyperscalers and are paying money to, like you said, the US or wherever it is. This is money leaving your country. If this money is staying here, we're using those results and returns to change our economy. Secondly, knowledge-based goods and services, especially technology related, I mean, we're in the age of AI. We're seeing so many conversations around AI. Unfortunately, what we're seeing is very many wrappers on top of existing large language models. But there are solutions that should be solved by locally built AI, small language models, with different solutions that should actually be built here. But what's the first limitation? Infrastructure. Because if anyone is going to build anything, what is the cost of a GPU? It's extremely prohibitive. But if you have credits, GPU credits to build your solutions as a developer, as a local scientist, you will start to see success. And I'm happy that we're launching this event here because this building is a show of government's commitment towards providing shared infrastructure to build capacity. And I'll give you an example. A few years ago, when we started, we had a conversation with engineers, and they said that for us to build an electronic product, we will design the PCB, send it to China, get it made there as a sample, bring it back, build out the product, go back and forth to be able to launch this, right? Eventually, if it works, you then take it to mass manufacturing where you scale up production, and that's still going to probably be in China or some other country. You're losing money, you're losing time, and you're potentially risking your own IP. Today in this building, you can come and build a prototype end to end. You don't need to go to China. You'll be able to get your PCB, get your components, build your plastics case, build your prototype. If it works, you walk across the corridor and you can scale up manufacturing. In fact, in the next few months, I think about 3 to 5 months, you will have an actual PCB manufacturing basic level facility in this building. So you don't need to go to China. What we also are doing is saying, how do we scale that up? How do we scale that up into electronics manufacturing services so you can actually produce larger volumes of your electronics products? Now, what kind of products are we focused on? And this is important to mention. Low volume, high quality. The IoT and sensor market is projected to get to billions of dollars annually. And this is across multiple use cases, from climate monitoring to home automation to whatever else exists. And what we want Uganda to achieve is to be the leader in Africa that facilitates that manufacturing. And again, while we're doing all these interesting things, there's going to be need for storage, need for compute. And we believe that this grows as an ecosystem, right? So I'm glad it's happening here. I'm glad that we appreciate, and I hope we appreciate that the way this changes, the way we start to create wealth is by allowing our very smart people to have the chance and ability to build. And that's what we're doing.
Deserved a round of applause because that actually shows that government is actually looking forward. So now I'd like to, because you talked about something in line with infrastructure, I'd like to move over to Raxio, the data center company. You're based across the continent with different branches or different data centers across the continent, but a couple of years ago you invested here in Uganda. What opportunity do you see, one, in the data center space, and also by virtue of the fact that Raxio is hosting this equipment, what does that look like for you? But then additionally, it's like I'm adding many questions together in one. But what do you see the future looking like as a result of, let's say, local solutions coming up like this for your business and also for Raxio?
All right. Thank you for the question. So rightfully, as you said, Raxio is in actively. We're in multiple countries in Africa. We're in Ethiopia. We're in the DRC. We started off in Uganda. We also have a presence in Angola, Mozambique. And the intention is to go into Tanzania at some point this year.
And that's the commitment that Raxio has as a company. And when we look at Africa, we look at the future. If you look at the business case, a simple business case of the data center, you need a lot of patient capital. You need to be in markets where it takes a bit of time, most of the times, to be able to turn around, get customers into your data hall. But what has driven our investment over the years, and not just the investment in Uganda, but across the continent, was a belief that we have as an organization that the future is going to be built around data centers. We see it in the US, we see it in Europe, and we see a lot of demand in those markets. And even across the border, if you go to Kenya, you can see the level of investments that are going in. We started off in Uganda, and that was a business case and a leap of faith. And James was one of the founding fathers at the time, so he helped set up the infrastructure. And the belief that the organization had at the time is that there is something in Uganda worth investing in, and there is potential in the future. And this is when we are starting to see that coming into fruition after about, this will be our fifth year of operation. Now, answering your other question around, you asked quite a number of questions. So you did ask about, you talked about the expansion and the future, what this means. We are very excited, and excited is, there's no better word to say the feelings that we have around this. And not just excitement from an emotional point of view, it's because we do fully appreciate and understand what this means for the nation. This means unlocking the opportunities for differentiated solutions. It means one of the conversations I've had with James are around having innovation hubs where we have young people who are coming up, or young organizations coming to leverage and to use the infrastructure that has been put in by ROC and that is hosted at Raxio. What that means is there is an expectation that we'll see new applications. The notion that we have to look to the west or to the east for solutions to our problem, I think that's already in the past. We've seen a lot of innovation. We've seen a lot of young people coming out of school with very different ideas about how the future needs to look like. You know, we laugh all the time about the Gen Zs. We're talking about the alphas the Gen Alphas that are coming in. These are young people who are looking at the world in a very different way from perhaps the combined age on the panel of how we thought problems would be solved. So it is exciting from that point of view, and it makes a material difference. This is not wishful thinking. This is not hope being a method. This is actually putting in the infrastructure, putting in the money, getting the government to partner to be able to open up what this looks like in future. And one of the things that we expect when you look at the future and this collaboration here is there'll be job creation. Yeah? So that has been a perennial problem in Africa. So this is a contribution to future jobs. We're looking at application. So we have all these students or young companies that are coming into the market, but they don't have, as you said so rightfully, the costs of the GPUs are quite high. The cost of hosting is quite high. But having a platform or an environment where this can be done easily means that we are creating new solutions. But I think apart from that, there are many other applications. When you start looking at the future of this collaboration, we talk about digital, we talk about sovereignty itself, right? So if I give an example, instead of the Ministry of Health, for example, having to export all their data because you need to do some sensitivity analysis or some trend analysis and be able to project a new disease or the spread of certain viruses, etc. And that has to be processed out of the country because the big servers are sitting there and the GPUs are sitting there. All that can be done locally, you know, and that gives us a sense of pride as a nation, gives us a sense of pride as a continent that we are in charge of our data. I've had slogans like data is the new gold.
Oil.
White gold? Is it?
Oil.
Oil, oh, the new, thank you. The new oil. I don't know the new gold.
There's so much gold in Uganda.
Yeah, but everybody says this or the other is the new oil, but data is the new oil. If I look at our data center today, if I was to put a value to the data that sits there today from all the customers within our ecosystem, it's in the billions. It's in the billions when you start monetizing that data. So every time we export our data as a nation, as a continent, we end up losing a lot, whether it's predictability, whether it's diagnosis and such like. So the excitement, you can see it, you can feel it. I believe that with this collaboration and with the right partnerships, this is something that will not only be life-changing, but we're talking about generational impact, which is what at our age, our combined age here, we are at that stage of generational impact.
I like the way that you're sliding in the thing of age.
Yeah, I know.
Considering the grey hair on the stage here is significant.
I'm sorry.
Okay, it's coming soon. All right,
well,
James is itching to add something.
We've been attacked severely. I think
we shall host you on the sovereign cloud, you'll be safe.
There are several nuggets across the table here on the chairs. I think just want to really emphasize some things. David talked about what was really the motivation for this project. And I would like to say this initiative started in a bar conversation, as the several initiatives that my life involves. Yeah. But the real driver was what we were seeing earlier. When we were seeing these young men and women presenting their startup stories and innovations, just take a moment to think about the guys from Soroti, what they were presenting, the guy from Bara, what he's presenting. This is no longer a conversation around whatever Makerere University only type students or foreign university type students. Take a moment to think about the qualifications that these guys have, even the courses that they're doing. Times have changed. So you had a question to him around why invest in ICT infrastructure for government, why is this important? When you look at the pillars that are driving this, the Ugandan government for now, it's manufacturing, it's agriculture, it's oil and gas, it's ICT, and a bit of tourism. That's where the focus is. So one of it is one of the first of the 5 pillars. I think they call it ATMs in the government circles. When you look at the revolution we're in as a world right now, it is tech. It's tech and tech driven. It's the industrial revolution, the 4th industrial revolution. It's the internet revolution. It's so crazy that even half the military work right now is done by tech. Those of you enthusiastic about the Congo affairs like myself, you know, there was a massive tech disrupt that happened to M23 recently. So this is, the world is revolving around tech. So where should we actually invest? If you were to ask me, the investment that public sector should be really fronting right now, it needs to be in tech. And tech is driving the rest of the economies in the world. Now, while she's jabbing the age thing, it's not a joke. In actual sense, half the guys who are presenting the innovations right now were not born when we started working, as guys who are sitting here.
Thank you for saying
it.
and I've seen these ones for a long time. So we cannot quite be in the same conversation with how they are thinking and how they are innovating. And he mentioned the unicorn as potential. To me, any one of these innovators in this room, even if only one succeeds, our job here is done. Any one of them. So, to me, the right audience is the guys in the room, the guys online who will see this live or in future and be aware that there is a platform, and the friends who get to just see a snippet and pick an interest. Now, ultimately, at our big age and what we've accomplished over the years, the most we can do for society is investing in the places where the young ones cannot. Which is, in IT, we usually say the 7 layers. It's basically on layer 1, which is physical infrastructure. If we have the data centers, we have the servers, we have the cloud platforms, we have the AI GPUs, that's almost as much as we can do. And making sure that the investment is available, making sure that it's scalable, making sure that we can open the conversations for public-private sector collaborations, that is as much as we can contribute as parents of the industry. And then the platform is for you guys. You guys are here, you guys are online, to make sure that these ideas you're finding on TikTok, these ideas you're finding in school, these ideas that are coming up in your adolescent minds, these ideas that are coming up everywhere as part of, you know, the natural change in life, the evolution that life is, can have a home to be sunrised or sunrose, and then you can take them to the market. So the idea of ABQ, which, as I mentioned, is ABQ, which is localized, was to have a platform that these young minds can develop on. We have a freebie, so to speak. It's complementary for, you know, the early stages of growth, and the guys already in business. It's heavily subsidized so that they're able to grow on this. Get your workloads of these foreign platforms, be compliant, have low latency, minimum cost, be able to start, so that when you need to scale, you already can afford to scale. That was generally what was, I think, what you'd call the big motivation behind this platform. And the last thing you asked about Raxio and their several countries reach, we believe that ABQ or ABQ, why we actually transformed it into ABQ from ABQ, was that it should be a brand that can transcend boundaries. However, the idea on our part is that wherever Raxio has a data center, can we have Ugandan tech providing the sovereign cloud in those markets? So then, even us the old guys can also, you know,
can also
we can also shake and say we are hard. So that's really part of the whole thing. So the dream is not just Uganda. We're building this in Uganda, but we believe it can transcend borders. We believe it's something that every country needs, and it's going to be a Ugandan export. The POC is in UG, but if you're to use cases, if you're a non-believer, look at M-Pesa, for example. It was a Kenyan innovation that you find on ATMs in London now under different partnerships. So we think that we can drive the cloud conversation, the AI conversation for Africa, using this as a benchmark.
Okay, thank you. A round of applause for our elders. They had to rub it in. I'm going to exclude David from that.
Thank you very much. Very important.
Yeah, David, the young man. So I'm going to just ask a question, because some people will hear all these good things, and obviously there'll always be someone on the negative side. We are saying it's a sovereign cloud, it's secure. But it's also in Uganda, and in Uganda we have thugs, we have hackers. Even the solutions which were here presented, two of them touched on security. How secure is this? One, and two, we also talking about the sovereignty. How secure is it, let's say, if a foreign country wanted to put on us sanctions, for example? I might have the answer as I'm asking it, but I'm just curious. How secure is this thing? Both physically, also from a hacking standpoint, and also from a standpoint of sanctions, which was like a buzzword in the past few years when Trump came back into office.
I will take that question. I will kickstart the answer. Security for data, private data, personal data, and is a shared security model. The cloud provider takes some part of it, and the data owner takes part of it, and also the infrastructure provider, in this case like Raxio. So we have different layers. Physical security, it's a very secure place. I mean, we have access control, physical access control, we have biometric, we have cameras. You can't just step in, go to the data hall. They have biometric racks. So all this is secured. So that layer is very, very secure. Then you go to the actual hardware. Hardware is locked up, hardware is secured with the normal things of username, password, encryption. That provides another layer. Then you go to the other layer of, say, reliability. How do you access this data? How is it powered? Ragsy will provide redundant power down, I think, from the generation station that is powering it. You find one line is fed from Narubale, another one is from Karuma. So you are quite sure that your data center will not go down. We have multiple providers of internet connectivity that ensure that should this provider go down, this one will stay up. We have a local loop. A local loop meaning that if you're on Airtel, MTN, or Rock, any provider that is local in Uganda, you can access your services on the local loop. You don't go to the internet. So in case they cut off our internet, you should be able to access it via the local loop. Now, when you come onto these operating systems, we have disk encryption. And then at that point, we stop. Then the owner of the application comes in. The owner of the application has the responsibility of making sure his data is secure, that it's also encrypted. So you have two levels of encryption. We encrypt and they encrypt, so that in case anything happens, somebody comes and picks their data, they can't read it unless they have the keys. So you bring your own keys, you keep your own keys. Data is secured in that way. Lastly, how you access it. You access this thing from anywhere, but you have multiple factor authentication. You can log in with a username and a password. You can log in with a thumbprint. You can log in with an iris. All these ensure that you properly identify the person who has access to your data. So all these put together makes sure that the platform is secure, it's private, it's reliable, and it will do what it's supposed to do. So fitness for use and fitness for purpose.
I don't know if anyone wants to add on to that, because I feel he has tackled it fully. Now I want to talk about another thing that will come in, Santech, money. You guys have talked about getting this infrastructure, setting up Raxio, took an arm and a leg and many bodies to come to life. Buying this equipment, from our imagination, it's probably quite expensive. Now, coming to us, the end users, what does that look like in terms of costs? Because we are very familiar with a lot of technology innovations. The price tag is in dollars, then there's a translation there at the bottom to UGX. What is this going to be built in? How will a person access it? Tusasula mu Uganda shillings, byakutesa, ugaba loani, if also because some of the innovators are actually trying to start out and grow naturally. So many very good ideas have been shared. Are there also opportunities for people who would like to be able to get like some free access? If let's say they didn't participate in the hackathon. Yeah, I don't know who wants to tackle the money question, but I think it might fall with you since you're nodding a lot.
Well, there's, I'll give one side, but David will jump in as well, because we collect our money and give it to
No.
Caroline. So we pay our money to Roxy, all of it, and then as we find the money. Anyway, so jokes aside, so the reason this is a public-private sector collaboration is part of, the driving factor was that question. So ideally, AfriCloud, which Eric was part of, which is the technology that's driving the cloud platform, was already in the market. The problem they were facing is that they're not getting a lot of these startups coming in, because startups generally struggle with cash, as you know. RawCloud, which I'm part of, had a similar challenge. We see the need to catalyze this sector of innovators and startups and SMEs, but they're always going to struggle with the cash composition. So we approached STI and said, listen, can we do a partnership here? We bring in an investment, you bring in an investment, so that we're able to at least achieve phase one of several phases, by the way. This is only phase one of the project. This year we'll do another phase, and next year hopefully another phase, until we have proper scale. So STI brought in an investment, we brought in an investment as well, and the idea was to drive down the overall cost of the cloud investment to make it possible for the startups and innovators to be able to use this platform. Because what we are really trying to address is the gap between innovation and going to business. So we have, as part of this program, we have some complementary packages available for startups and innovators. So all these brilliant minds you saw here on the stage, all these ideas that they have come up with, we want our platform to be their starting point. So when they finish developing them, they should be able to come in and we give them at least 1 year's runway to host their stuff. My brother from Bara, I can see you are smiling like you've drunk milk and honey. So we want to be able to give them that capacity so that they can install and develop from day one for at least a year, right? Some cases, of course, some business cases take longer than a year. We'll discuss if it's a year or 2 years, whatever it is, that we need to give you to get your runway. And the second thing that came up was that, okay, thanks for the cloud, but this is an age of AI. What next? So we said, okay, let's also build AI capability within. So even in this current cloud platform, we have some GPUs, and we have a few more GPUs that we're working with STI to secure. So that if you're building for AI, we have capacity locally. Incidentally, we're the first guys in the entire region, apart from South Africa, who are going to have GPUs available for use in the local market. So that in itself is a massive achievement. I'm clapping for myself, as you can see. So we want our guys, everyone who was presenting here was talking about ML, talking about AI, but all these workloads they were thinking about are supposed to be sitting in American servers and stuff like that, which cost. So we're saying we'll provide you this now for free if you're in that startup phase. And when you break out of startup, then we can work on a stage-by-stage growth. The guys who are already out of startup phase, right, and they need capacity, but they need it in a subsidized manner, we also have a package for those guys, right? And then we have people who are just generally already commercial, and they want local compute, they want local cloud, especially like these fintechs who are already commercial in the market. We want to also be able to support them because the compliance is their thing, they need the compute, they need the storage, all those different things. So for the purpose of today's conversation, I think the biggest takeaway is that don't die with your idea and hide under the bed saying that, you know, I can't do anything because I have nowhere to store my stuff. What ABQ is a platform for you to start from as you get your concept off the ground, and then we build it, we take it to commercial. And we think that there are going to be opportunities for getting funders in this room for people who want to scale. So for you who said to our government, the government is here, it has sorted you out. Take this message to your friends that you've left back in the universities, in the innovation hubs, at home, and bring these ideas. We'll be sending out a call to action in terms of how you can submit your stuff. I believe that we are doing 100 startups for this year, for 2025-26, and the startups will keep increasing and how we grow. So I'm kind of confident to say that everyone who's in this room was presenting something is likely getting his own virtual computing resources on the house immediately. So government has done what?
I've never seen David smile that much. Okay, let's clap for him again and he smiles again.
No, it's not for me.
All right, but from the government perspective,
but I want to give you a perspective on how we think as government, as STI. So there's about 5 pillars that typically allow for innovations to turn into commercially viable entities. And those are, one, infrastructure, and this is what you're seeing happening here, but there's more. There's policy. We need to make sure that there's enabling policy for our innovators, and we'll be doing more engagements and crowdsourcing ideas on what policy is more enabling. Now, I know it's one thing for us to quickly say, give us tax breaks, but that's a whole process that has to be worked on, but can be justified. So policy is another. The other is human capital development, right? I've been building tech for a very long time, and one of the things I realized I struggled with was the quality of the products that we built. And I've learned that there's a big problem in systems architecture in this market, right? So how do we build or create relationships to build out more adequate human capital in the country. These are programs that we're working on. One of the things you'll see in a few months is something called STEAM Engine. And what that is saying, can we actually capture students earlier on? You know, you used to have computer labs. Can those be turned into actually structured human capital development platforms, right? So you have learning management systems, very clear curriculums that you can actually use to build your capacity. And if you're able to grow into the adequate skills level, you can then be part of, you know, projects or programs and things like that. I'm proud to say that we're looking at how do we get Ugandan developers to also start to contribute towards government solutions. So actually being or building government technology, which has typically been imported. The fourth thing that's very important is investment. Today, STI does run the Innovation Fund, and annually we give a substantial amount of money to a number of ventures across the board. As a matter of fact, this particular project was a recipient of an STI grant to facilitate the implementation of this project, and this will be scaled up either through the same structure or as a government project for scale. We need to figure out the structuring with that. But what that means is that, one, you can access STI grants, but also we're looking at, can we create fund of fund structure? You know, so can we, for example, deploy through ABQ Cloud for the ventures that are doing very well to access financing to make that actually scale, right? So it comes down to the ability for us to identify what are the best channels for us to deploy this capital, what are the best instruments for us to deploy this capital that will allow you to access the money you need to build your ventures. And lastly, the ecosystem as a whole, the ecosystem and the market. One of the challenges that we see is many times innovators build projects based on, you know, I like to call it ideas from the sky. Please try to build products to solve problems that people actually have. You know, if Raxio has a big challenge that tech can solve and they tell you about it, maybe it's a way for you to build. And there's so many challenges that you can build for. So don't build in a silo, build as part of an ecosystem, and we shall see more success.
So I think that's wonderful, and you've spoken a lot about the innovators and the startups. I'm going to request the team if you could just get a second microphone so that we could be able to take some questions from the house in a few minutes. But in the room here, we also have a number of innovators that have matured and that have grown. And I've been informed that our guest of honor, now I can actually mention, is about to reach here. And our guest of honor is none other than the Honorable Minister, Monica Munesero, the Minister for the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat under the Office of the President. She will be arriving in a few minutes. But before she arrives and comes in, I'd like to just pose this. So now what happens to entities that are developed, that are already existing? Because in the room we have different entities, some within the agriculture space, some within the NGO space, some within banking, because Uganda Development Bank, Action Against Hunger, and a couple of others. Can they also be a part of this drive? Because from all of your speaking, you're speaking towards the innovators who are starting out. Now what about those mature scale industries that probably would want to be able to take advantage of this compute power and be able to offset some of their costs?
Okay, so yes, I know the emphasis has been towards the startup and innovators, but that's not all who is going to be served by this platform. In actual sense, a lot of the reason why the startups will get the free ride is because the mature businesses will sort of pay for them. So the value proposition for already existing businesses and
will pay for the startups.
Yeah, just like in life, usually it is the sponsors are usually more mature than the sponsored. I can see some people here who fit either side. Anyway, so the ecosystem is such that, and there's some people in the room, and I thank you for coming to grace our event. The companies that are already existing and running business, they have two ways, and I'm sure Karen will kind of jump into supplementing here because that's the value proposition of the data center as well. If you're running infrastructure, you have two options, especially if you want stable service, you want disaster recovery from an offsite location. You want more uptime. He talked about, some of the key pillars that make service, IT service, reliable to provide. So either you're going to collocate with the data center, which is what Raxio brings into this ecosystem, or you're going to need a cloud service from a cloud service provider within a data center, which is what AB2 brings in. Now, some clarity for everyone's understanding here is that AB2 is a platform, is an infrastructure platform. The selling of a lot of these services, you'll see it coming through different internet service providers, cloud service providers, resellers, and everything, right? But ultimately, we want all these guys to bring the data to this platform, right? Because AB2 is an infrastructure service provider providing cloud service, and you won't be seeing it too visible on the market. But what you'll start to see is a lot of these internet service providers selling cloud services onto the market, but ultimately sitting there. But for the innovators and startups, of course, they'll come directly through us or through the ministry, and that's for the incubation initiative, right? Okay. I just want to kind of highlight something that I think you see with your children, you see with your brothers and sisters, you see with your friends. Every single time you have a conversation around business or work or entrepreneurship, there are maybe 2 things or 3 that come up in that conversation. I know this because I work with young people a lot. Either they will be talking about some gig, there's a gig they are doing, and the gig means anything and everything, from selling Rolexes to I don't know, organizing a music event. Or they will tell you some app they are developing. That is always, it's one of 2. And the third will be their socials, right? Whatever the conversation, it will be one of those 3 things. Either I have some gig I'm doing, or my friend has a gig, or I'm working on some app, or my socials. Because this young Gen Z type set of innovators and population only is living in the internet revolution, and that's really what drives the whole conversation. Now, if we're saying that we have 65% below 18 years, and the conversation is around gigs, that's the gig economy, is around apps, which is the startup and innovators economy, or socials, which is pretty much the cloud conversation, right? How competitive can Uganda be, which is the 2nd youngest market in Africa and the 2nd youngest in the world? How competitive will it be in the next 5 years when these 18-year-olds hit the streets? We'll have the strongest workforce, the strongest, the biggest population, touch wood. But if the infrastructure to support the 3 things that are interesting for them, to support them having to scan the food before they eat it because it has gone their socials. If we don't have the infrastructure, we cannot be competitive, right? So that is the reason we are pushing the startups and innovators. But at the same time, someone has to pay for the services for scale, as well as also for their own economies of scale and leverage and cost savings. And that's why we have the paid packages for the guys already in business, and what did you say, subsidized packages for the guys who are starting business.
All right, that's very good. A round of applause for that. So, with every platform, there comes a need for learning how to utilize it. But what I'd like to just do right now is also mention, after this question, I'll open up the floor to some questions. In case once you open it up, very quickly, your name and the question. You don't start telling us your life story in the question. You see me, I grew up in Kabale. We can leave those details out. And let's jump straight to the question once we open up to the floor. But in the room, we have innovators. One, we have people representing the education sector. I know that we have some representatives from Busitema University, Soroti University, Makerere University who are here. Among the corporate entities, we also have a number of them. And so one of the questions that is key, because I had the opportunity to move around on the roadshow that went to different universities while the hackathon was going on, and a lot of people need to learn how to utilize this platform. Same with Amazon, same with Azure, and all of these others. There's a bit of training on how to utilize that. Is there any plan in the pipeline for this? I'm looking at you, David, because you're the young one on the panel, to make sure that the other young people can be able to learn how to utilize it and also be able to take advantage of these services.
I do think that would be used against me. I want to ask James to respond to that question, as they're the operators.
Yeah.
But yes, they've also had a number of countrywide engagements.
Okay, so in the process of passing the back, let me pass it to Eric, because I think I've spoken too much, and the ideas are still here.
Yes, that's an interesting question, a good question. How will we do knowledge sharing? How will we do evangelism, cloud evangelism? How will we get the whole ecosystem? So for successful innovation, there are several partners according to the MIT model. Of course, there's academia, which you've mentioned. There are the startups, there are the corporates. Of course, there are the guys who have the money, and then there's government. Now, we approach this through several methods. We have hackathons. We had hackathons. And these hackathons were introduction into our cloud platform. We did a lot of training to try and get innovators to understand what this does and get to use it. So this is a good vessel for passing on knowledge, because the only way you can successfully learn is to use it and engage with it. Now, ABQ is an infrastructure provider. We work through resellers, we work through partners. We train the partners on how to use it. We train them through our documentation. Then the partners, when they interface with the corporates, because the partners now really sell to the paying users, the corporates, they transfer on this knowledge. They do onboarding, we offer architecture, we offer system design, like David said, because that's a big area. For cloud, cloud is an inherently expensive resource. So you don't just use it, you plan for it, you try and engineer it. Engineering means you use the minimum resources that you can to achieve your goal. You don't over-provision. So we offer all these kinds of services. We offer managed service so that we take away the burden of you understanding the low-level details of why your things have gone wrong. But at the same time, we'll always be available to lead the way, handhold for situations where people do not have enough expertise, and guide them. So at the back of it, there's an entire team willing and ready to make sure that everybody can use the platform effectively. And once we evangelize and more people know it, then they become our evangelists.
Yeah. Okay, maybe just also supplement on that. I mean, I guess it also comes down to where are the people that need to hear the message, right? Which is kind of the the rule of evangelism in general. Universities is one area, right? Inevitably, we must do a roadshow through all the universities, the ones we went to for the hackathon, plus the extra ones, which maybe we didn't visit. A nationwide roadshow around this is definitely something that has to be done. Secondly is the innovation hubs. Right now, I think there's maybe like 12, 13 big innovation hubs across the country. They have to be visited. There is buy-in from the key stakeholders. Of course, Ministry of ICT, NITAU, Data Protection and Privacy Office, STI is obviously in the driving seat, and people like the Institute of Science at Nakawa. So those key stakeholders also have to come in there. And then there is the media run. We had already kind of started this, but we realized it's more valuable to do after the launch. So there will be a concerted media effort through the right programming on mainstream media as well to create this sort of, first of all, sensitization. To teach someone, they must kind of already want to learn, right? So first, I think there will be a sensitization drive, and then there will be a much more concerted educational effort.
All right, thank you. So right now I'd like to open up the floor to any questions. Joseph is at the back with the microphone. There's a hand right here. Okay, 1, 2. Please let's keep the questions short, sweet, direct, and clear. I will start over there. I think what we will do is, if you have a person who you would like to answer the question, you can direct it to them specifically, such that the baton is not passed on consistently. All right.
All right, thank you very much. Quickly, I would thank the ABQ portal for providing us those VPS. My first question is that I think ABQ should provide the blockchain services as well as other cloud services like Amazon are doing, because blockchain is now the new technology. Now, this is my last question, and it is like a feedback. We hackers who were given through STI, we experienced a bit of latency because we used private endpoints. So I request that it is being improved in next time. Thank you very much.
Okay, Eric, you want to respond?
Yes.
System had some potholes.
Yes, during the hackathon, this was our first hackathon, and one, it was discovery for us. Two, we did not know how many and how much resource would be used. We limited things like public IPs to understand. But going forward, each group, each hackathon team would have its own IP addresses. This would improve actually the experience, because yes, you said you're using your own endpoints, people are tunneling, so that of course introduces a lot of latency. Secondly, we have that hackathon was run on infrastructure, our older infrastructure, which was at a different location. We have this newer infrastructure which will provide better performance, seeing that it's in Rugville, seeing that we are partnering with Rock that offer excellent connectivity. So going forward, that should be very good. In terms of blockchain, we are looking for partners. We can do a lot of things, but at the moment, we are doing infrastructure. We're going to try to get the infrastructure right, the foundational layers. So we are also looking for partners. If you know a partner who can bring these services, different services, be it blockchain, be it messaging apps, any apps, we can partner with them. This will help us have scalability. If we are to do all the over-the-top apps, that usually constrains us because we are limited. So yes, we hope to do all those services, but we would like to work with through partners, have a marketplace, and then the partners resell their blockchain services or any other services.
All right, thank you. There was a hand somewhere down here, right there. Joseph, right here. There's a hand right there.
Thank you. My name is Jotham. 2 questions. How are the local cloud providers handling the surge in compute-heavy workloads? And then 2, can innovators access enterprise-grade GPUs locally, or are we still dependent on foreign infrastructure? I share from an experience during the hacking period. Some of our workloads were unusable, especially on the ABQ cloud, the provisioning that they gave us. So we had to do it locally. Yeah.
Okay. Seems like Elijah, you're the man of the hour, Eric. But James, if you want to dive in.
I'll jump in after him. Yeah?
Yes. We are evolving as a cloud provider, and AI is the new kid on the block. We deployed the infrastructure you used for the hackathon in 2018. It has been around for a while. We have brought, here we have added GPU capacity. It's still not the GPU capacity for deep learning. It is what you can use for inferencing. But the next phase of the investment, thanks to STI, is getting these more deep learning grade GPUs onto the platform. So we are moving towards that. We really want people train foundational models on our GPUs. We had experiences with the AI Studio. AI Studio trained the crane models on those GPUs that we had. We didn't have GPUs on our platform, but we had GPUs with our sister company, Whitesky.cloud in Belgium. But these were smaller GPUs, but they trained the crane model, foundational models on those GPUs. They did some smart processing and managed to do it and pull it off, which earned them a lot of credit, because when they are talking to their Google and the World Bank, and their win was that they trained a foundational model on very limited resources. So yes, we are on that path. We will do it. We will soon have some good GPUs in the next tranche of funding to support that training. But for the time being, we have GPUs that can do something, and part of being a good innovator, a good engineer, is trying to work within your constraints, and that is why the AI Studio got serious credit.
So just to add, in addition to the funding we have allocated for GPU capacity, we also have a number of partnerships that have come up because of this investment. So we should have fairly good capacity for you to be able to build and train whatever it is that you want to in the next few months. We shall, I think, through this partnership, constantly announce what it is that's been done, what's available. And do note that I think there was the question that was asked about access and the cost of access. I think it's, as James said, multi-layered. You have a free tier where you can, access capacity to build. And the whole idea is as you grow, start paying for what it is that you use, right? But gradually, at the start, it should be absolutely free for you to start.
All right, awesome. There's a question, sorry, I'm trying to keep track, but there's a question right here at the very front, which a hand went up first. The gentleman with the tie. Joe, right down here at the front. Sorry, your hand came up a bit later. All right?
Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am Alex Motil, and a cloud researcher from Agrich University. I had so many questions, but just one. We talk about sovereign cloud, but also is the setup like sovereign? I mean, the solution stack, for example, that brings this up. Thank you.
Okay, I hope.
Well, I'm not sure the hardware is, but I'm not sure the hardware is, but I'd like to think the rest of it is.
Yeah. So I think again to walk the journey. Tech changes so quickly that by the time you finish asking the question, the answer is different. The hackathon, we ran it on an older platform that we had previously. That was sitting in a different location within the CBD. We now have a new location sitting in Raxio Data Center across the road for all the reasons that have already been mentioned by CK, by Eric, in terms of why that data center. And it's all sovereign. It's all in country, including the GPUs. And for the foreseeable future, that's going to be the home of the cloud platform that we've built in country and scaling it from there. The other reason why is also to answer the question that was raised by the gentleman there around latency, is because the internet exchange point of the country is sitting in Raxio. So we also wanted to be very close to the internet exchange point so that we can address the latency issue. Whether or not you're using your own endpoints, you should be able to still have a better experience because you're close to the exchange point. So yes, the infrastructure is sovereign, otherwise it won't be sovereign.
And to add on to here, the cloud stack is open source. So that makes it a lot easier for people to adapt. So it's KVM, KMO, all the open source tooling, it means it's Python, so it is you can go in and see. There is the only proprietary part of it is the cloud manager, and that is the secret source. But the rest, if you want to migrate a workload away is a QCOW image. It is open source, nothing proprietary about it.
So right now we are going to just take a quick pause, and because our guest of honor, the Honorable Minister, has arrived, so I'm going to request the panel. Let's give the panel a big round of applause and appreciate them. Thank you so much for all the insights. The good thing is all these people are still here with us, and once we come towards the close of the day, there's actually a meal that we'll be able to share, and within that time you can actually be able to approach them and ask a few questions. But right now, you know, like how UBC would say we are reporting live. Anyway, so this is live outside there, so you don't have to go outside to see what's taking place. But yeah, you're all very welcome once again. DJ, you can play some music because we can't hear what the minister is whispering out there. If they are saying the people inside are boring, what? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So once the Honorable Minister comes into the room, we'll request the DJ to just have the national anthem ready so that we can be able to formally receive her. I would also like to ask us to just give her a round of applause for making the time from having to schedule to come and be with us as well.
I need to know where you did. Oh, yeah, send me all okay. Shabali don't know the day. Oh, my nest are not ready.
Very big round of applause, Honorable Minister. You are very, very welcome. Okay. So, DJ, I would like to ask you to do the needful, and I would like to request all of us to rise up to our feet as we sing the national anthem. The East African National Anthem. You. You may have your seats. All right, so Honorable Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat under the Office of the President, we welcome you to the launch of this cloud platform called ABQ. We would also like to recognize some other members who are present here within the room because they have made the time to actually be here. We'd like to recognize the chairman, or the board chairman of Rock Group of Companies, Mr. Kenneth Chiza. If you can stand and wave, it's one of the few times I can make him stand. I'd also like to recognize the group CEO of Raxio. If you could please stand and wave as well. I don't want to mispronounce your name and cause myself problems. We'd also like to recognize the CEO of Raxio Uganda. She was just up here on the panel. If you could also stand and just wave, Caroline. We'd also like to recognize the CEO of Rock Telcom, Mr. Roger Sekaziga. If you could please stand and wave. Then I would also like to recognize Mr. James Biaruhanga, the CEO of Rock Cloud and ABQ. Then Honorable Minister, there's one of your staff members who is claiming to be a young man called David Gonahasa. We would like him to also stand just for recognition. And then last but not least, without standing, I would like you to clap for your neighbor who has been here and been a part of this day. So Honorable Minister, prior to you coming, we were saying very nice things, we were answering very hard questions, but before I actually start telling you stories, I would like to invite Mr. James Biaruhanga, the CEO of ABQ Cloud, to come and say a few words, or Rock Cloud, to come and say a few words, and who will then formally invite the next speaker. Big round of applause.
Thanks Timothy, and thanks for the good job so far. Honorable Minister, we welcome you to the launch of ABQ. My name is James Biaruhanga. I've been entertaining these people while you're not around. When you came, you found the end of our entertainment session. I just wanted to use this opportunity given to me. One, to do a further introduction of the parties involved in this initiative, to give a bit of a background, not that you don't know it, but also for the other people to understand it. We also have an audience online, which we're very excited about. And also just share a little bit about the vision that we see, that we have also shared with your team, that we believe will be able to work together, and then I can invite David to invite you. So my name is James Biaruhanga. I'm the current managing director. I'm not a CEO, sir. Yeah? I'm the managing director of Rock Cloud. Rock Cloud is part of the Rock Group of Companies. You're sitting next to our capable chairman. We are a fully Ugandan entity, and we have several companies under our umbrella. But we also have a partner in Raxio, which is the only private data center player in the market. We are lucky they are right across the road. They have been in business for the last 5 years. We have Robert, who sits in either Amsterdam or Dubai or the rest of Africa where Raxio has operations. We are lucky he's in country. And we've got Caroline, who runs the country and operation, as well as other players. We also have Eric. I don't know where he's disappeared to. Eric is from Afrey Cloud, and these are our technology partners for the cloud platform. These are the three main players that are involved in this platform so far. We are here today to, I think, celebrate a milestone of the first sovereign cloud platform that is a public-private partnership between STI and Afrey Cloud and Rock Cloud. And this platform is supposed to be a catalyst for the innovation, startup, SME, and corporate sector. While you're away, we had a chance to see some innovators present solutions and hackathons that are homegrown that we believe, and we have a crystal ball prediction that maybe the first unicorn from Uganda will come from this room today. So we're so excited that we might be the home of that. And secondly, we also presented the capabilities of the platform in cases where we can start to support the innovators. The platform is free to access for innovators and startups, and then subsidized for companies as they grow, as well as we've got availability of capacity for actually mature companies that are in business. And we have also explained to them that we will be providing some AI capability through GPUs in partnership with STI as part of the growth stage. So we're really excited about what potentially this can be, but more importantly is that ABQ being a local innovation, Honorable Minister, when you are not around, I was explaining to them that the name stems from the local name. In the western side of Uganda, clouds are known as Ebichu. So the name stems out of trying to globalize clouds and making it acceptable in other markets. We believe the vision for ABQ is beyond Uganda. It is a Pan-African vision, and we hope that this is going to be one of the first innovations that comes out of Uganda that goes across Africa to catalyze the same industries that we believe have the same needs. Uganda is a growing market. We are still the second youngest market in the world, and we believe that technology is one of the few areas where we're going to be able to leverage our competitive advantage as a country. We thank the government for believing in our vision. We thank them even more, or we thank you even more for actually understanding that we are not trying to be spectators, but rather we want to be players, and players of reasonable capacity within this IT space. In conclusion of my remarks, I would like to invite you after here to visit the Raxio data center, which is across the road, to have a look at infrastructure that people don't even know exists in this country, that is sitting as the backbone of digital transformation for the country. Once again, I thank you, and I thank your team for believing in the dream and being willing to evangelize and change the playing field of IT and digital transformation in Africa. On this note, I'd like to invite the young man, David Gonahasa. He proclaimed himself young when you're not around. These are the things he does when you are away. David, please come through and make some remarks and invite the Honorable Minister. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, James. I'm going to laugh for a very long time about the day that you invited me onto stage. I'm just putting it out there so it's very clear. Honorable Minister, the chairperson of Rock Telecom, the CEO of Raxio, CEO of Rock Telecom, CEO of Raxio Uganda, invited guests, our innovators, welcome to this very exciting event. For me personally, Honorable Minister, when you found me and got me to work for STI, there are things you asked that they should be delivered. One, you asked that we should be able to build an ecosystem. You asked that we should be able to build innovators who can commercialize knowledge-based goods and services, and a number of other things. But key for me today is delivering a core part of the ecosystem for building of technology-led or technology-enabled knowledge-based goods and services. Because today, thanks to this, an innovator hopefully will not again complain about, I can't afford compute, I can't afford storage, I can't afford cloud. What this is proof that Uganda has the ability to create enabling infrastructure for our innovators, and we hope that they will use this, and basing on this, they will grow. James spoke about a unicorn. We think the unicorn may not only be from the innovators, but we think ABQ should be something that is scaled across the African continent, because the problem in Uganda is the same in probably 50 other countries, where they still rely on foreign-based cloud solutions that are not only expensive, but also bring up many questions about sovereignty, about data storage, and all these other questions. I say this because I myself, I'm an entrepreneur, an honorable minister. I spend $1,200 a month paying for a foreign cloud service. And I am very happy to note that we have begun testing with ABQ, and hopefully we'll get the free service. Those remarks, Honorable Minister, I would like to take this honor to invite you to address the audience and share a bit of that wisdom that makes us all stay up late at night trying to make STI work. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
It's afternoon. To me, it seemed like morning. You have all survived because I'm not in the mood to make a presentation today. Ideally, I should make a presentation. So, all our guests, I hope I might miss who is who because of the brief moment of introduction. So I see I have the CEO of ROC here, the CEO of Roxio, and you are an MD of and I have seen there is the CEO of which bank? So thank you very much, all of you. And if I have not mentioned you, I recognize everybody who is here. Let me begin by apologizing for being late. I was pressed to see how I should multiply myself today. So I should have been here to listen to some of the things, but I was held in the meeting, literally held hostage in the meeting where I was, that I could not walk away. I think I'm one of the proudest people today. It's overwhelming for you to come up with what you think is a wild idea, and then it materializes right before your eyes. And you're being sent back to the innovation room to think about a new target. So I want to congratulate, especially the younger man, David, first. Because when I called him and I told him that I want us to have this done, he usually tells me, okay, I'll give you a concept. I'll give you a brief concept. A few days later, he came and he said, we are doing it. Just be patient. I'll tell you when it is ready. I want to thank everybody who has worked on this. And as I make my remarks, you are going to appreciate why this is so, so important. And my ears, I think I'm going to increase the size so that they can visibly dance when I'm happy. When you are telling me about having our unicorn here, because I'm chasing those ones. I want them. I want them. I want to see them. So Uganda, about a few years ago, took a very bold move. In 2021, the country took a very bold move because our government had been working for a long time to see science, technology, innovation take lead. Because we know that without it taking lead, we are not going to climb to the horizon which we aspire. We had developed a national strategic direction for 30 years in 2010, which we call Vision 2040. And we had come to mid-term almost of that time. But this guy called STI, who is supposed to lead us, seemed to be somewhere we couldn't find him, hiding in university laboratories, academic institutions, and not showing up in touching our economy. So the president took a very bold move, closed a ministry, big ministry, and said, I want something functional, focused on the money. And from a big ministry of 150 staff, we created a unit which was supposed to have 22 staff, but I ended up with 19. And we are charged with designing the knowledge economy for the country. I want to say that as we come to the end of the first 5 years, we have outpaced ourselves. Because my first target was just defining how things will work. I did not think that we are going to get there, because to tell you the truth, I had no idea how the things work. So today, we are here to witness one of those defining moments. There are so many impossibilities that come in your mind until you have got your first possibility. Once you get your first possibility, then you know the next is possible. Then you know the next is possible. Ambition grows. And so as we are witnessing today, and why I had to press that I am here to launch this official launch of the first Uganda sovereign cloud, which is an interface, which is the way we are largely working, building partnerships between the government and private sector to do something which is tangible. There are things the private sector does exceptionally well. They have limitations which government does exceptionally well. When we try to be on one side, we all exist in that we are walking accompanied by a complaining lane, but government, but policy, but funding, but, you know, and we cannot get there. But once we merge these two, I've found that wonders happen. And so, why does this matter to us? A few years ago, I started to analyze the different sectors. I'd been given 8 broad areas upon which to pilot our knowledge economy, to start our knowledge economy. And what we called Industry 4.0 Plus was one of them. And so I started analyzing one by one. How does it work? How does it build our economy? Now, for this particular one, after studying a lot of things which are going on, digital economy, digital migration, backbone, and everything, I discovered, just like all the other segments, that we have three segments of every economy. You have the one that builds the raw materials, the inputs. You have that one. Then you have the one which adds value, and you have the one which consumes. That continuum builds the economy around that particular value chain. And depending on the sector, depending on the industrial value chain, you will find that different parts of the world choose to domicile one segment or two. If it's agriculture, Africa hosts the raw material production. Strangely, I found that in this particular industrial value chain, Africa did not host the production of the inputs. And immediately I was like, there is no money here. There is money here, but it is not here. Because consistently, Africa hosts the components where there is no money. And in this particular value chain, money flows from those who own the infrastructure and the value addition. It flows to there from those who consume. And guess what? What did Uganda have? Consumption. So I developed a concept which I titled Digital Economy, Africa. Mind the business. Mind your business. And so we started to find, so if we are going to make some money, actually in all these things that people are talking about, digital migration, a digital economy, yes, we are part of the economy, but as the source of money which goes into the ones who own. The ones who own the infrastructure, the ones who own the platforms, the ones who add value. We consume tertiary products. And so, yes, everybody can say, yes, we have a lot of mobile phones, but actually I discovered why we have a lot of those mobile phones. Because they are enhancers of consumption of digital products. They help us to do that. So I told David, you need to reverse this. We need to make sure that we own the money-making components of the digital economy. That's terribly audacious for an African nation. Because we are told all reasons why you cannot do it. It's difficult, it is expensive, you don't have this, you don't have this. So every assignment I give David, he comes back with a very unique approach. So he came, by the way, did he tell the story how I got him? He hasn't. Yeah, David was trying to lobby for funding. We found ourselves on the same flight. And since he saw me and he knew I was going to the business lounge, he upgraded himself to go to the business lounge. So as I enter the lounge, he greets me. Can I make you a cup of tea? So I was like, fine, bring the cup of tea. We went and sat on the table after 20 minutes because I had searched for about 8 months for a person I wanted to take this portfolio and I hadn't found. So we sit for 20 minutes and he's explaining his project to me and pitching. And me, I'm looking across him, I said, I have my man. We were traveling to Benin. By the time he came back, he had been appointed by the president. He came to me, he said, "You see, Honorable, I cannot do this." I said, "Go and tell the president. I'm not the one who has appointed you. The rest is history." But please, if you are some partners here, he has one big challenge. He has a company called Tripesa. The day that company dies is the day he will get fired. So please invest in his company. So we begin to discuss, how do we make Africa make business? And we identify areas where we need. Because the consumption end we have the consumption end. And we went and analyzed. I have my economist here. Where are you, Trevor? He's hiding behind there. I also found him in some strange place. And I brought him and said, I want us to analyze the digital economy. And for sure, our theoretical suspicion, we found that a country like Uganda, seemingly progressing, we make a negative return to our economy. Until we own infrastructure, some of the infrastructure, until we own some platforms. If we don't, the digital economy will grow, and we will move in this illusion that we are part of the digital economy. Yes, we are, but we are the ones who grow maize, sell maize at 500 shillings. Can you imagine how much it would make me to pay, how many kilograms of maize it takes for Uganda to sell for me to get the $20 that I have to pay for my minimum cloud storage? How many kilograms? A kilo of maize is 500 shillings. Don't tell me you all depend on AI. What has happened to the heads? So we restructured our way, and this particular infrastructure is very, very important for us. We generate a vast volume of data, and for the past so many years, people tell me data is the next gold. Data is the next gold. No. We are treating, for us, without any infrastructure where we can plant this data, it remains a gold mine beneath a rubbish heap. So we are seeing it as a problem. So this is very, very important. And I believe, and I hope you don't have a small vision, because it's the MD. I hate mediocrity. I really hate mediocrity. If you are going to do it, do it. Or don't do it. So I hope we share the vision. I know I haven't visited you to share the big vision. I like big vision. We have a lot of need for this cloud service domiciled here in the Pearl of Africa. Financial services. You know, every day I sleep and I'm in this nightmare. Supposing some president hosting our financial services wakes up and he has a dream that he should hate Uganda and closes us off. What will happen to us? Healthcare. Uganda can't store, we can't store our own health data. I spent a lot of time in the Ministry of Health and handling data. Somebody in New York knows a person who fell sick in my village before I know. because the data is transmitted directly. And then I get access much later. Our national security. We need infrastructure bigger than this. So this sovereign cloud provides for us the infrastructure to address all these requirements, let alone acting as a platform which then brings in money. So the vision should not be Uganda. It should not be East Africa, although it should be covered. It should not be Africa, although it should be covered. It should reach the places where they count their money in trillions of dollars. Then we will get, if I get 1% of an economy which has a trillions of dollars, it is something. If you get 50% of what is in Uganda, it will be very little. We want money to come. We want money to come. We want services to come. And there are many other areas where we need this. So this signals you are the firstborn. We are open for more. The MDs, this is a good place to be. I know you are all multinationals. This is a good place to be. You'll get all the support that you need. We are always looking for policy support. Policy support is exactly here in front of you. You're looking for what? Government support, government commitment is standing here. And to make sure that we even finance some of these things. You concentrate on making this not just a unicorn. The one which is the next to a unicorn. Huh? What is next to a unicorn? Oh, we stop there. After that, it is transition something else. Yeah, so the next level should be constructed here in Uganda. So the opportunity that we see, one, I see this as first of all, I'm going to really have a lot of bragging currency. So much bragging currency. Please, media, make sure. This is huge for us. Huge. But we need to accelerate the development of our nation. We have set a hugely ambitious development trajectory, growing our economy 10 times. We want to be 500 billion US dollars. I keep saying before, and 2040. We are now at around 60 something, 63. The economists will tell you it's not possible. The scientist says it is possible. We can do it. Can't we? Can't we? Yes. We have a lot of SMEs, and now they will have a home. They are going to have a home. AI is taking over. And we are wallowing in the flood waters of AI. This is going to help us to have a bigger control. And I'm looking forward to the time, because I always ask everybody, show me the money. Have you ever seen a scientist who really wants money? I want money. I am not shy. I want money. If you don't want money, me, I want money. I want to see the money flow into this nation. So we want to see the revenues coming. We are monitoring the digital economy of the country. Remember, we established a baseline. It was like this: Uganda pouring outside. Now we want to see that tilt come to a balance and shift the other side so that we have the money. For that, of course, we are going to need we need to make sure that we move data. Because if you build a cloud and you don't store there, what is going to happen? So we need to make sure that we get the data residence. And you are the two, with your partners, you're going to show us. Mine is to rest on the other side and give our residents to our data. We need to scale this to phase 2, phase 3, and expand. Now we have come in early, take advantage of being the firstborn. Firstborn suffer a lot, but they also benefit a lot. They are over-cared for. So the expectations on them are also too high, but they are over-cared for. And I am going to champion the requests, the needs, to make sure that we don't only launch the cloud, but we functionalize it so that it begins to be. So just help me, let me know. We now know that we have a lot of talent. I'm hunting for jobs. I want to see jobs in this sector. Really, a lot of young people. I sit with these young people, and they are so bright. They are so innovative. We want to give them opportunity to do this. So I want to thank our partners who have co-invested with us. I believe that you have seen something in Uganda. Please invest more. I also pledge to invest more. We co-invest more. And we make this the cloud space for the continent first, as we hunt for off-the-continent clients. I don't know how people express happiness in the different cultures, because I feel like thank you is not enough, because I'm feeling extremely proud. Really, really proud. And I'm so hopeful. Monday, I will make sure I take some of my bragging rights to cabinet. Uganda now has the first sovereign cloud. Hey. Yeah, I walk around with, you call it what? A chip on your shoulder? Yes. So thank you, David. Thank you, all the partners. Thank you. I'm sure behind this, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of programmers. There are a lot of people working in the hardware, in the software. Thank you for choosing to work here. We will try to make your working environment very conducive. For the investors, Uganda has excellent incentives for investors. Thank you very much. At STI, we are committed to making Uganda the best. And I believe this is going to be the very best. Thank you so much. I'm very, very proud now to launch this. I don't know what you prepared. How do we launch? We want to make sure that it is done very, very proudly.
So, Honorable Minister, first of all, I got a quick note from Mr. Gumpo over there. He said that all the companies that are part of this are Ugandan. Even Raxio is partly Ugandan, so you can take pride in the fact that
But
there's some big companies in the room.
how long have you been here?
25 years, 20 years.
And all this time, you have not seen it fit to come to my office.
We shall send a warning letter.
Now I'm sad. Now, you need to know that our strategy as STI is to enhance private sector. We want to enhance you. Where there's completely nothing, then the government will attempt to build a pathfinder, like we had nobody to do automotive industry. But it's not in our plan for government to try and establish companies. We want to support private sector. So, all these are Ugandan companies.
So next, Honorable Minister, what we are going to do is, during the process of building this out and launching it, we asked the innovators to be a part of the process. We ran a hackathon, and we invited them to build solutions that could be hosted on this cloud service. And we had 400, I think, applications. And there was a program that went around universities explaining the work we're doing on the cloud service. We came down to top 10, and we have 4 winners. The 4 winners from the budget that you gave us, we hopefully will get more budget. I think it's now the time to ask for this. We have been able to squeeze
It is not good manners to ask your boss for things in the public.
There's media, so I'm trying. So we were able to give them a small cash prize that should help them. It's not, someone used the word seed capital. I don't think 2.5 million is seed capital, but it is to ease some of the work that they're doing. Of course, we do have the investment tracks we're working on, but also they get 1 year of free cloud. They get cloud credits. They get 1 year of free internet. They will also be allowed to come and build at EDIC, so they have space, they have the utilities, and they have support from Luera. And we did see the company's pitches. I think at this point we'd like to ask you to sign and award the dummy checks to the winners. We shall announce the winners now, and they can come on stage, receive. David, please come up. And when a winner, Timothy, help as well. So when a winner is announced, you take the mic. When the winner is announced, they can then come on stage, receive the check, and then thereafter, Honorable will play the launch video, and you can formally make the declaration.
Okay. And now I have the responsibility of inviting up the winners. And so we had a number of winners. I don't know if I should mention all of them, but what I'm going to do is simply speak to the top 4. And I'm going to request maybe 1 or 2 representatives to join the Honorable Minister. But the top 4 winners are number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. Okay? I have to make it a bit dramatic, so if I pause, please note it's for effect. It's not that I have become speechless. All right, so, okay. In number 4, in the sector of mining, we have Magnetic Lab. A big round of Magnetic Lab. You had them pitch. And so the checks are actually being signed here, so it's not like those things of being printed and all. Magnetic Lab, you can come in. Big round of applause, Bananga. Let's not be haters. Congratulations, Magnetic Lab. Congratulations. Okay, leave that picture has been taken. Right, next, in number 3, within the sector of agriculture, we have Santech. Big round of applause for Santech. They came all the way from Soroti to be here today. Big round of applause to them. Very well done. very innovative solution that they have worked on and developed. And congratulations, Santech. In case you're not clapping, all right. Okay. Next, in number 2, we have, within the sector of tourism, Vatua. Big round of applause for Vatua. This gentleman happens to be from Mbarara University as well. But now, the hand claps keep on dying out. Congratulations and very well done. David, this is your competition. It's in the tourism space as well. All right. Big round of applause for Vatua. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. And now, last but not least, fast. I'm not seeing properly. Is it, what's the name here? Okay, also you can't see. All right, so within the sector of science, technology, and innovation, we have our overall winner. Remember, the posing is for effect. Fortress Stack. Fortress Stack. Big round of applause for him. Congratulations, and this is very, very well deserved. Well done, well done, very well done. Congratulations, congratulations. Fortress Stack. Thank you. And so right now, as our Honorable Minister goes to take her seat, I'd like our eyes to not look towards the MC, but to look towards the screen as we together formally launch ABQ Cloud.
Pushing top business. That's how me call them. Tell them. Josie na sango muwalo wakali. No inkalo bikata ina taxi money. No muvuga mu taxi. Paka chibuli nangamba. Ina konde taxi money. Nakenzo kula bansiweze sawa kumi. Yingira mudama taxi money. Bangamba. Okuwana fete tumani. Obase chotira bikoli mistake. Naze mune basanga ngabali babiri. Neba kuwa mukono muno bada chibuli. Nimimitira nange sabade mubi.
Locally called ABQ, inspiration was born. From that meeting of earth and sky came the vision we now call ABQ Cloud. Uganda's cloud ecosystem faces challenges including high infrastructure costs, limited skilled expertise, and regulatory hurdles which slow the vision of building a future where innovation is powered locally, securely, and affordably. That's why ABQ was established, an indigenous pan-African cloud infrastructure initiative built through like-minded organizations, the Science, Technology and Innovation Office of the President, STIOP, EDIC, Afrey Cloud, Raxio, and Rock Cloud, that delivers more affordable cost in local currency, ensuring data sovereignty, predictable pricing without FX shocks in local currency, and low latency performance with compute closer to users. Last year, ABQ together with STIOP, EDIC, took this vision across the country, showcasing government-backed initiatives with local partners, including universities with an intent to build capacity. A hackathon was then designed to co-create collaboration and fuel countrywide innovation. And today, that vision takes its official identity. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ABQ Cloud. ABQ will walk through trusted partners like Afrey Cloud, Rock Cloud, and other authorized local companies that will uplift Ugandan startups, innovators, and entrepreneurs with affordable cloud access. ABQ Cloud, powering digital revolution.
A very big round of applause for ABQ. And so right now, this day would not be possible without you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. But what we would like to do is to be able to preserve this moment in history by using what some people call a flash and take a picture. So I would like to invite the Honorable Minister, as well as some of our other guests of honor, to come up to the stage so that we can be able to take one good shot. If the logo of ABQ can be up on the screen so that it can be present within the photo that we will take. And right after this, I would like to also declare that there is lunch for everyone in this room. Where we had our breakfast from will be the same place that we'll be having our lunch. And additionally, the rest of the participants in the hackathon are actually going to be able to get access to cloud credits for an entire year at no cost. So well done to each of the innovators. In case you would like some of their pictures or you didn't get the chance to speak with them, they all have tables out there. Please go by and find out a little bit more information. And right now I'd like to invite the Honorable Minister and some of our other guests of honor to just rise up and please come up to the stage so that we can be able to take a photo. A day like this. Now please do come up so that okay. The camera team, media team, I hope you are ready. I hope the media team is ready. Okay, there he is. Let me take my picture now. Opportunities don't come if you don't ask. Right, let me eliminate myself from the photo. Work, they'll be asking you, where did you go? You have no proof. You tell them we were with the minister, there is no proof. So, yeah. Okay, I think that's good enough. Big round of applause for our Honorable Minister. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. And right now, I would like to just mention they're going to move to a different location for a little bit, but the rest of us are all welcome to have lunch. We'll just wait for the Honorable Minister to move out, and then after which, the rest of us will be welcome to